Welcome back to another very special live stream at Hobby Titans, where we show you guys what we're working on, talk about it, chit chat, maybe taste some paint, and it's an all around good time. We, of course, it's the two of us today with Kat and me.
Yay!
We're very excited to be here, continuing with some of the projects we've been working on, bringing out some new stuff. It's going to be cool. What do you have for today, Kat?
My tank still,
Your
but
tank.
I am not super happy with how, like, just one color it looks. So I'm going to be doing some weathering today.
Totally.
Yeah.
So lots of weathering.
Trying to break up the color a little bit.
I think it's going to be really cool. I see you have some exciting techniques set out.
Yes.
It's going to be literal magic, some people might say.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing. And I am today, as advertised, working on new demons. That is to say, they are old demon models, but for the new book. We all know it's coming out next. It's the next book for Warhammer 40k, and I recently purchased a bunch more Khorne demons. It's the one god that I don't have many of. I actually have a huge demons collection. It's the only collection that rivals my orc collection. And so, of course, we got to add to it, expand to it. I'm going to be mostly working on Khorne demons today. So that means blood and skulls and all that good stuff. So lots of flesh, lots of glow, or little glow effects, not as much as here, but some.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of blood, perhaps?
Maybe.
For the blood god?
I don't know. Not on mine.
Not on
skulls,
yours?
definitely.
yeah. Sorry. That's what we're doing here. I wasn't making suggestions. You were like on board though until I said blood. Huh?
Yeah.
You're like glowing, check. Skulls, check.
Yep.
Blood? Not so much.
Not so much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, we're extremely excited to have you all here today. Let's dive on in and get creative. And here we are, the Bloody Boys themselves. If you have watched our sister channel, Tabletop Titans, you might have seen these lovely lads before. These are Khorne demons, and traditionally these guys are actually painted in red, right? They're traditional kind of devil and demon color. But the one problem with that is blood doesn't show up on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic, you know? Every time I go to paint one of these armies, it's like, what? So I've done a very pale pallid scheme on these guys, and my blood letters was really inspired actually by the second Alien prequel. I forget the name of it.
Oh, okay.
And they have the really fleshy aliens that are like very pale.
Yeah.
So I actually based them off that, and I green stuffed their eyes out so they have no eyes, which of course makes them look kind of spookier. And so that's what I'm looking through today. I have, I think, 20 or 30 more blood letters, a couple more of those skull thrones that you see there. And we'll be working mostly on the flesh, those glowy blades we see there, and if we have some time, we'll do some blood effects.
Yeah, I like the pale scheme. It makes them look more like demons,
right?
If that makes any sense.
It's unearthly, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for the blood effects to show up. You know, we've been looking at things like World Eaters lately, and I'm at the same problem where I'm like, they're supposed to be red, but I'm like, but then none of the blood shows up. What's the point?
Well, I mean, you know, they save on their laundry bill that way, I guess.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing, right? Yeah, like if you're gonna get dirty, wear a darker shirt. You know?
Right. I think that's why Deadpool's suit is red.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And sometimes why he wears the brown pants. So
exactly.
You know, that's what I'm working on, and you're gonna be doing some weathering. What does that entail for you?
Yeah. So I am going to be doing some chipping and stuff, which is why I have this pile of sponges and stuff. Mostly these ones. I think these were from Zach's battle foam thing or something like that.
I feel like I recognize that shade of foam.
Yeah. And he has donated a couple of like the insert pieces to the studio, so I ripped them up. I'm not like tearing through his actual storage.
I kind of prefer it that way. That'd be amazing. Like, that is a big flex. Not only you're stealing stuff, tearing it up and painting with it, but you're streaming it live to many people.
Yeah. You know, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Exactly. Zach would say the same, to be honest.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what a lot of these are here for. And then I have a couple washes and or deposits. So I have snakebite leather, Nuln oil, and Cygor brown.
Love it.
I also have sand yellow deposit.
That's really cool.
And then some rust deposits. And so these are enamel stuff, which is why I have these sponges.
Okay.
And these are cosmetic makeup sponges, and so they're a lot more dense than these ones are, and they're great for wiping off the surface of like whatever I don't want this stuff to get on.
Totally.
Because as long as this stuff isn't set, and or even if it is, I
Yeah.
could just wet this down with some mineral spirits and then wipe it off. But I like cosmetic sponges for that because you don't get like the streaking of it, and it comes off pretty cleanly. So
Right.
yeah.
Whereas you actually want, like, actively want the texture from these other ones.
Yes.
This one you want, like, as little fingerprint left, basically.
Yeah, as smooth as
Yeah,
possible.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
so these ones are a lot more dense, which makes them a little bit more expensive, but you can get them pretty cheaply.
I
As
feel
well,
like you
so.
you like wear through them much more slowly. Like these will probably be, each bit is like trashed after one use.
Yeah,
gonna be stuck with
yeah.
paint.
Yeah, it's also the reason why I have a bunch of them here because
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
different shapes and stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, so that's
great.
gonna be mainly it, and then some dry brushing here and there. I forgot my powders, so I don't have any pigment powders or anything, but it's okay. I'll get them
We'll do what we
eventually.
can with what we have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot with my blood for the blood god, so that's literally like the fundamental step.
The one that thing that you
literally for
needed.
Khorne.
It's the blood. It's the
for
blood.
the blood god.
Yeah.
I have some Minotaur Ghost Tint Fresh Blood, which like it's good, but it's like kind of
Liquidy.
anemic. Yeah. It's like not the thickest of blood. The other one's like basically glue. Like I don't know who bleeds like that, but yeah, this will
It's
be it'll
congealed.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Color-wise, it'll look fine. Splatter-wise, it'll look fine. It just won't have the 3D effect that the other one does,
Fair.
which is fine.
Which I don't know. I think this will make a good base for it. Are you still going to get the blood for the blood god later? Depends.
Probably, and
Yeah.
I don't have to do as much of it then.
Yeah.
So. Well, let's dive on in. Thank you so much for joining everyone in chat. If you have any questions, feel free to send in those super chats, and let's discuss. What are you guys working on tonight? Is anyone else out there working on Demons? Looking forward to Demons? Are you perhaps painting some members of the Damned?
I've actually been seing them
Yeah?
on Instagram,
Oh,
which
that's
I don't
great.
know if it's because I've been talking about it, but
It's because Alexa hears you.
yeah. But I have been seeing people that like I follow on Instagram painting like skull faces on
Yeah.
helmets
Oh,
and
that's
stuff
so
and
funny.
flames, which I think is really cool. But
It's such a cool army. It's such a cool concept, you know?
yeah, I mean, I like it better when people don't make them like cheesy bikers, but you know.
I know. It depends if you're leaning into that 80s like model aesthetic, because they
Yeah.
frankly haven't been updated since then. So you're going to be literal with it, or
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my
Not for you.
style.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
exactly.
So I have. Let's see. Don't worry, guys. Here you go. You're gonna get a whiplash. So I bought these models from my good friend Michael. He had a big collection, and I kind of had my eye on them for a while because I knew he was going to be getting rid of them. So once they announced the book, I said, "This is my time. I'm going to strike," and I bought all of his Khorne stuff. So thank you, Michael. Big shout out to him. These guys you can see this afternoon. Actually, I have just green stuffed their heads to cover up their eyes, and to I don't know if I can get any closer than this on mine. Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty thick on it, which is fine. It's gonna blend in nicely. So it's actually pretty simple to do. Oh, let's just look at Cat's tank for a second. It's beautiful. But anyway, so I've done that. And cool thing about green stuff is it does actually take paint, so you can actually paint straight onto it. So I'm not going to worry too much about undercoating everything because they're going to basically just be entirely painted with this bone white. So I'm just going to get started on that. It's a lot of basing.
So how many of these models
You know what?
belong in a unit?
I was just thinking. So they're 10 to 30.
Okay.
So traditionally you run one big bomb of 30 of them, just as a giant killy unit that gets in, which is why I think I specifically only have 30. But that's like not enough to make a full army of them.
Oh, I see.
So this is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Yeah, so this is 30 exactly. And then I think there's another 20 or so I have on sprue. So this is like a strong basis to an army. Ironically, of the Bloodthirsters, you know, the giant winged ones, I have like 5 of those because they're just cool.
Yeah.
But I don't have a ton of these guys, so this is perfect.
How many of the big giant ones would you run in a list?
Let's see. That's a good question. There was a time in Sigmar where you could run. There was like a way to run like 4 or 5 of them, or maybe it was a whole lot of them. It was like a council of Bloodthirsters. But then 40k traditionally about 1. If I was a pure Khorne force, maybe 2. They're just a lot of points. And the one problem with being a big angry guy, red guy with an axe, in a world in which everyone has giant guns and cannons, is you tend to just get shot down before you reach.
So what's the difference between a bloodthirster and a demon prince?
Good, that's a great question.
Look very similar.
They're very similar,
Okay.
right? So bloodthirsters are greater demons of Khorne. So Khorne being, of course, the god of blood and skulls and warfare and all that good stuff. And so they're kind of like the epitome of a demon for them. Whereas a demon prince, first of all, could be any god.
Okay.
Could be any of the 4 gods, and that's traditionally a mortal, a human that has sort of come up through the ranks and like gained the favor of a god. So they've been elevated from being a human or a space marine to being this like awesome, tough demon prince guy.
So can any of them, like any dude, I guess, become a demon prince?
Any
Or are they
human
only
can?
just Primarchs?
It's a good question. I think generally speaking, you go from being like a human or mortal to a demon prince.
Uh-huh.
Or you go to like a type of demon. Like I think technically, I don't know if these guys are. Plague bearers used to be humans. I don't know if these guys used to be humans, for example.
I see.
So I don't know if there's an evolution there. Like if we're talking Pokemon terms, I think that might be a different branch.
Right. Well, because I was reading that demons are created, like normal demons, not like demon princes or anything like that, are created by whatever, like, demon lord guy thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Generally, they're created from like.
And then they can be like
gods.
reabsorbed back into them. Okay.
Yeah, they're like pure warp energy, pureness, for lack of a better term. Whereas the other ones have more like a personality, and the demon princes are from mortals. Now, I think you might be able to go from a demon prince to a greater demon, like Angron, who we saw previewed, Mr. Knuckle Wings.
Right.
I think he might have been a demon prince for a while.
Mr. Biceps, all biceps.
Yeah, all biceps. Oops, all biceps.
Yeah.
But let us know in chat if you guys know. And do bloodletters specifically, for example, come from mortals?
Because, I've stated several times that I don't know a whole lot about like 40K lore and stuff, but I do look it up.
Yeah.
If anyone ever like says anything intriguing, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna Google that.
If it passes the litmus test.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. Look, I read a lot of Warhammer books, and many of them are better as Wikipedia articles than full books. That goes for like a lot of fantasy, I think.
Yeah.
If a franchise is big enough, it's just like.
Or if it's been around for long enough, because I feel like the style of writing has changed so much in, like, not even like 5 years, but going back like 30 years. It's sometimes it's impossible for me to kind of stomach.
Absorb it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it's even like, you ask a question about the lore, and it's like, well, technically this is what it is right now, but originally it was this thing.
Right.
And like that doesn't technically impact it, but of course it does, and the way that people perceive it. So it's really hard to track. Angron would be a prince still, but his base chassis was a Primarch. Yeah, basically.
Base chassis.
That's fair. Yeah. That's actually true. That's interesting. Ooh,
That's
Cody,
good.
working on Forbidden Psalm. Oh man. Do you know about Forbidden Psalm?
Song?
Psalm.
Psalm.
P-S-A-L-M. A psalm. A psalm.
No.
Let me tell you. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you'll appreciate this as a games person. So there's this like, what are they, Swedish or Swiss? It's like this punk rock RPG that is super rules light. Like 40K is crazy dense, but this one is just like literally the weapons page is like a picture of like a body getting like stabbed and hit by a bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
And it like has the damage of the profiles like next to them, and that's like the whole thing. That's all the weapons in the game, and it's like here's a Morning Star, D6 damage, and here's like a sword, whatever. And it's like cool kind of punk art style through the whole thing. So it's a very like anti a lot of this like overcomplicated and stuff like that. And Forbidden Psalm is like an adventure, the most kind of famous adventure that was written in that world. It's very like Dark Soulsy and
That's cool. I think
kinda
one
fun.
of the best RPGs I've ever played.
yeah.
It was so much fun. Was Magical School, or not Magical School, Magical Girl RPG, and it was just
Yes.
like maybe like 5 pages of all charts, and you just rolled a bunch of dice,
Yes.
and then that determined like your Magical Girl transformation and your color and
Totally.
whatever, and then you could just do whatever you wanted to do. It was literally like
Amazing.
make your character, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I love that stuff. I love charts.
Yeah.
Charts are just like one of the first like rule books things that like got me hooked. And this rule book, the front and the back cover, not the cover, like the inside cover, I forget what it's called. It's just all like random chart generators and stuff like that, names, abilities.
That's so cool.
It's super fun. I love that. I haven't actually heard of this Magical Girl RPG.
Yeah, I don't know where my friend got it from, but it was one of the first RPGs that I played, other than like Dungeons and Dragons. It was
Sure.
one of the first like non D&D RPGs,
Right.
and it was just a way of getting the group out of playing D&D all the time,
Yeah.
and discovering that there were other RPGs out there.
There's so many out there. D&D is great, but there's other fun things.
Yeah.
And ones like that, it's kind of fun because you can also do like one-offs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like just jump into a game for an evening. And it doesn't have to be like this massive campaign that's like, years of your life. Even though it's also cool.
Yeah, I mean those are fun. I've played a bunch of one shots. I've played years long campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you which one I enjoyed more. It was just a fun experience.
Yeah, different moves for different things. Yeah, this Forbidden Song. So the game it's from is it's something Bjorhe. It's like Bjork. It looks almost like.
Okay.
It's again Swedish or Swish. It was the first game in a while that like piqued my interest. I was like, oh, this is like, because I'm so steeped in all these rules, all the time. It was just cool to be like, yeah, like let's just get down to like some of the things that make this fun. The charts, the procedural generation, the characters, the storytelling. So it's just fun to shake it up every once in a while.
Now, is this like a non 40K thing, or?
This one?
Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
they have a 40K RPG.
They do. There's a bunch actually at this point. Yeah, this one's not 40K related at all.
Oh, okay.
It's very grimdark,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of where the overlap is. But it's just a couple dudes, honestly, that started. Mork Bjorge, that's what it is.
Oh, it's the Yellow Book, right?
The Yellow Book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book. Like even if you never play the game, I'll bring it in. It's really cool.
I have it.
You have it.
I have it.
Okay. So it's that game. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
That's so funny.
At KublaCon, there was a booth in the dealer's hall where they sold
yeah.
a campaign module
Totally.
to go with that.
That's so funny.
And I love the art in the book, and so I bought it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's a gorgeous book, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool. That's really funny.
But other than flipping through it and looking at the art and stuff, I haven't really touched it.
Yeah. Hey, look, that's totally cool. Like that's why it's an awesome book. I took it to England, so I ended up just kind of reading it all the way through, which is normally you could never do that with a real book. Like that's an
Right.
insane thing to do. But it was just like, an hour or so, just kind of flipping through it, so it was fun.
Oh,
So
it's
different.
very on topic too, because it's about a bunch of demons and stuff.
Yeah, it's like end of the world.
yeah.
Or like the world has kind of already ended. And the characters are all very not, they're anti-heroes. Not to start up a conversation from an earlier chat, but like one of them literally is just they have a shank, like a bottle shank, or they're one of them is really good at biting people with their teeth that are falling out.
Nice.
It's good
There's a board game that the art kind of reminded me of. It's called Escape the Dark Castle.
Oh.
Have you heard of that
No.
before? It's super simple. It's a cooperative board game. You just pick a character, and really all picking a character does is just change the die that you roll.
Totally.
and then it's like a very like choose your own adventure type thing. Someone chooses, whoever chooses, flips over the card. You just read what's on the card, and then you just do what's on the card.
Oh, interesting.
You make your decision that way.
It's got like a similar style.
Yeah, it's got like very like sad looking people in it. Is really what it is.
God, I love it. I'll check it. What's it called?
Escape the Dark Castle.
Escape the Dark Castle.
Yeah.
I will definitely check it out. Da-na-na. I don't need gloves. Gloves are for cowards. Plus, like, I don't know, like, do you airbrush with gloves often?
It depends on what I'm airbrushing. If
Yeah.
I'm airbrushing like oils or enamels or anything like that, then yeah, I will put gloves on.
Makes sense. But like for just acrylic air paints?
Sometimes it just kind of depends how long do I want to spend washing my hands later.
Totally, same. Well, the problem I run into is the paint just ends up building up on the gloves, and then the gloves end up sticking to everything. And so I'm like, well, at this point I just need to wash my hands anyways, and you like wash the gloves, you know? Or when I'm like lazy and I don't do, you know, Zach has the gubbins holders.
The little corks.
The little corks.
Yeah.
And I'm too lazy to do that, and so I'll just like hold little bits. But then the further on you get, like the little bits just kind of start sticking, which is actually kind of convenient. You can just like stick it in, like in your finger and then spray it. So it's a pain in the butt. Here, let's get some. Boop. Nice. So what's going on down here?
I mean, it's just base layer of chipping is really what it is. I'll go back in and put some finer scratches and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to establish boundaries in which I want my paint to be chipping.
Totally. You know what, Kat? It's good to set boundaries.
It's good.
It's important in life, you know?
I agree. Learned a little late, but I agree.
Yeah. Haven't we all? What's up, everyone in chat? Hi, Digital Designer. Let us know if you guys have any super questions. I'd be happy to answer them. I'm just painting bone white for my whole life right now. All right. Oh. Let's see. I think I'm 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, almost exactly halfway.
So do you fully like do everything and then start on the next one? Because I find even when I'm doing like assembly line painting, I get bored.
Yes, that is 100% a thing. I don't know, like when I'm in the zone with airbrushing, I do it like, I'm actually pretty fine with this. I have a flaw, I guess I would say. I'm really good at getting things about 80% done.
Oh, okay.
And I can do that real fast.
Nice.
And then it's kind of like, it's not that I think it's bad, but I'm like, that's good. And then I kind of will not come in for the last 20%. So I'll paint this way a lot, where it's just total assembly line. You know, I'm doing the same thing with my clan rats right now. And it gets the baseline up really, really fast. But you really probably should do the last 20%. And that's where I'm honestly not good about. I'm totally guilty of that. So I'll do like a vertical slice. You know, I'll do like one guy totally done.
Right.
And then I'll do the rest. So like, here's an example of how bad it is. Like the first batch of these guys, I did these years ago. This guy right here is the only guy that's finished. But look, I like to think the rest of the guys look pretty good. So I was like fiddling around on the shelf earlier, trying to find the one guy I know is done. I could take a picture of it. But the other ones like I need to do the horns and the nails and just a bit more blood. Like it's not that much more left, but nevertheless, like they're not done.
So is there a reason as to why you do that? Because I do that too, but it's just to establish my like method and or like color palette or something.
I think a lot of it comes from a habit of preparing for tournament play. Like it's like, good enough for the tournament, good enough for the table, you know? And again, it's not really laziness. I don't think of it that way, but like they do look good, you know, at arm's length, which is how you'll see them most of the time. And then it's just kind of a bad habit that I've stuck onto. And like having to like constantly prepare like new models, new content, stuff like that, it's a really hard habit to get out of, which I've been trying to get better at, especially for the channel. We want to have nice models, and they're on a 4K camera, so if they're not painted nice, everyone definitely knows about it. But like, not always having to rush to get things finished, you know?
Yeah.
We have a Knights game tomorrow, and we're only playing 3 Armigers. There's a 4th one, almost done, but I decided to not
just do what you
rush
needed
it.
to do.
Exactly, you know? And that's either going to make people very happy or very upset now that they know that. So, yeah. What about you guys in chat? Do you have any similar problems finishing, or do you do one model, or do you a bunch of squad partially through? What are your hobby students, chat?
Yeah. Ooh.
We're like, this is the Demons today, right?
Yeah.
Very on brand. That would have been a good top 5, actually.
You know, if we had thought of it earlier,
Yeah.
instead of doing what we did.
I think I like what we did.
I do too.
It's pretty good.
You got to break it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Similar flesh-colored demons to help with any army cohesion. It's a version of my demon flesh that I do with everything, which is the pale color. So it'll match them, and it kind of matches the Nurgle stuff, but it's not like all purplish. Who asked that? Floor Sweeper Union. Yeah, so cohesive, yeah. I'm just getting through this paint.
Yeah.
See? Ooh, that's good.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
On a very dark tank.
I can see it's very slightly darker than the dark.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's fair. I'll go in and add like lighter scratches and stuff.
But that's what pays off big later on, right?
Yeah.
It'd be tempting to go in with like just the silver. But if you do this, you get that extra, like, it's like paint chipping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can guess which one I do. Straight for the silver.
I mean, I've seen them.
Whoa.
I've seen them. We painted your what were they?
Oh, the orcs?
No, your Chaos Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Your small dudes.
Yeah, straight to silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they look pretty good. What's up, Vino? Thank you so much for the super chat. Super excited to see more Khorne getting painted. Are there plans to expand the force to where Khorne can be fully run on their own? So glad you asked. Yes, 100%. So, as we were mentioning earlier, right now I think I have about 30 bloodletters, 5 bloodthirsters, a single blood skull cannon, a couple characters, I have several demon princes, and then 3 juggernauts. But what I have now is, I believe, 50 more bloodletters, 2 skull cannons. I think one I actually might build as the herald. 6 or 9 cav, so the blood crushers, and then hounds, including Karanak. And I think that's it there. I did pick up some mortals as well, but demons-wise, it'll totally flesh it out. We should be able to run a full force, which I'm excited about. Look, the demons book, I can't wait.
Can you mix like the 4?
The gods?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Yes and no, right? Like, they kind of have this problem of, like the gods kind of fight amongst each other in the lore.
Right.
And they obviously, like, they kind of want to kind of raise like their own types of demons. But when they're all in one book, and you're like a hobbyist, you kind of want to be able to play with all the toys, right? It's like, you're basically limiting yourself to a fourth of the book if you only pick one god. So, right now, you can, but you give up things.
I see.
So, like, for example, the heroes, the characters, are like demonic focal points, they're loci. And so, if your like whole detachment, like this whole chunk of your army is of a certain god, then those characters unlock different things. Which, for some of them, it's not really necessary.
Right.
But for others, it's like
very
fundamental.
necessary. Yeah.
Exactly. So, be curious to see how they handle that in the new book. And here's the thing, too. Currently in the game, you can only have 3 detachments, which means you can never run all 4 gods with all their loci. So, I'm sure that'll be a big question looking in the new book, is like, do they change that? How does that work? All that good stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I did slight Googling.
Oh, nice.
But
some research?
I was just like, well, because you were like, oh, we need a top 5. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, how many like gods are there? It's like, oh, it's 4. Okay.
Right, not many. Although technically, actually,
Okay. Yeah.
in Sigmar there's a 5th god now, which is the Great Horned Rat, which is the Skaven god. And he basically like schemed and plotted his way to like actually become a chaos god. They're like, okay, fine, you can be a chaos god. It's really funny, actually.
That's kind of cute.
It's super cute. And he's just like a big rat man in the sky. But yeah, in 40k it's just four chaos gods.
It's got a very Fruits Baskets vibe to it.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It is. War Machine news? Have you heard of this, Kat? Free rules, official 3D printed models. That's craziness. I'll check it out.
No.
Well, we've been teasing about this top 5, and I feel like there's lots to discuss about it. So maybe we jump on in, yeah?
Sure, yeah.
Would you like to go first?
Get those hot takes going? Sure.
Get those hot takes going.
Yeah.
So for today's class, for today's show, we decided, of course, we're going to do top 5 demons. So let's see what we have. We're going to start with cats. And now, of course, these, as always, can span across any fandom or literature.
Anything.
Anything. Here we go. This is Cat's Top 5 Demons. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I had to pick the OG.
Oh, yeah.
Lucifer, of course.
Naturally.
I just felt like it was right. And that was really the main reasoning.
That's it.
That's it.
I love it. This is like really classic artwork. I don't know who did it, but it's those like Victorian like prints. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what? Lucifer,
Yeah.
OG demon, right? What are you gonna?
Yeah.
I like it.
I just there was a lot that I could have picked from, and I just kept going back to him. I wasn't sure if that was fair or not because I did mine way before you did, but
Sure.
I did it.
No, I think it's a good choice. I mean, you really can't go wrong with the big L, right?
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's see. Number 2, Cat's Top 5 Demons. Oh.
Yeah.
This is also Lucifer.
Illidan from Warcraft or World of Warcraft.
Totally.
I've been playing World of Warcraft since I was like a child.
Yes. What's your main class?
Resto Druid.
Oh, okay. I can see it. I like it.
So yeah, but other than that, the guy who voices Illidan is also one of my favorite voice actors as well too.
Oh yeah.
He's on Critical Role as well.
What?
So yeah, when I found that out, I thought that was really cool. But he voices a lot of people. But
that's
yeah,
really cool. I had no idea.
like Illidan. He was the first one that I looked up, like the lore for. I read his book, everything like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
What a classic.
Yeah.
Especially like, us kind of growing up. This, like, he was like always there. Like Burning Crusade came out around, gosh, I don't know, maybe when we were like 10 or 12 or something. It's classic.
Yeah. So it's been a thing. A lot of people have asked me why my online name is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's because of character caps in World of Warcraft.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes, I love it.
Why don't I have any vowels in Rainbow? And that's just because I couldn't.
That's the way it is.
World of Warcraft, and that's it.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know.
No,
Just Illidan.
I think this is great.
Nostalgia is really
Illidan's-
what it is.
It's 100% nostalgia, and he's just like a classic character. They have done. They would. I don't want to like spoil anything. I don't know if it's like spoiling WoW stuff, but like they've kind of tried to like redeem him, but not redeem him, and like
He's an anti-hero. I would say. Yeah.
There you go. That's 2 times chat.
There you go. Yeah. he's a true anti-hero.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I like that. Illidan, Stormrage, excellent choice. All right, let's take a look. Ooh.
Yeah.
So I know of this character, but I don't actually know who it is or what show or movie or anime it's from.
Yeah, so the anime is Demon Slayer.
Oh, it's from Demon Slayer. Okay.
And this is Nezuko.
Nezuko. Nezuko.
Yeah. Nezuko.
I feel like I've heard John say that,
Probably.
like in his sleep.
But yeah, she's just super cute.
So cute.
But yeah, I don't want to give too much away
That's
if
fair.
anybody is like interested in the show or whatever. But she is really cute and is able to like shrink herself.
What?
And so she can fit into this basket because she can't be out in the sun. And so this is how her brother carries her around.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
yeah, it's super cute. But she is not an anti-hero. She is a hero. Hero. She's a yeah.
Even though she's
super
a demon?
cute.
Or maybe
Yeah.
a demon?
Yeah, she's super cute.
That's adorable.
So.
Is it a spoiler to say what the heck's going on with her mouth?
I think it's a spoiler to say that she's a demon just at all.
Oh, okay. So we're past like that level
yeah,
of spoiler.
Yeah. So in the show, the demons eat people.
Yeah.
Oh. And so this is to prevent her from like potentially biting anybody.
So it's a muzzle.
Yeah, it's just to keep her sane and keep everyone else sane,
Right.
and yeah, everything like that. So that's pretty much what it is.
Sweet, I'll check it out. It's been, John's put this on my list for forever, so,
I highly recommend.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
highly
Worthwhile.
recommend. I like it.
Okay.
I like it. The art's really good. The story's good.
What's the tone of it? Is it very serious, dark, funny?
No, I'd say it's dark enough, and it's silly enough where it's not like too one way or the other.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of middle of the road
Yeah.
anime. All right, good. That's sometimes it gets a bit much. All right, who's this guy?
It's a Tasmanian devil.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's super cute. And they're cute. I know that they're like a terror, but they look like grumpy old man rats to me.
They do, actually.
Yeah. They just look like the kind of rats who would yell at like little other rats to get off their lawn.
Hey, get off my lawn. I love it.
And that's basically it.
I love it. They're so cute. Tasmanian devils. 1 out of 10 would not pet.
Yeah, I wouldn't pet one either.
You just know he's upset. Just look at him.
They're always just constant. They're just the embodiment of rage.
Right.
Which I definitely connect to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your spirit animal.
Yeah,
maybe?
exactly.
I like it. Is this your Patronus cat? Did we just find your Patronus?
Ooh, that'd be so cute.
That'd be amazing, actually.
I would not be mad at that.
Yeah, it's a real life demon. I love it. All right, number 5.
Calcifer.
Calcifer.
Yeah, from
So cute.
Howl's Moving Castle. Now, to be fair, when I was looking up demons, I did forget that he was a demon.
Right.
But
you were reminded. That's all right.
He is a demon.
You don't have to have your top 5 fully formed. Sometimes you have to look inside yourself,
Yeah. But he is a demon.
This
and
guy's
he's
so
super
cute.
and he eats eggshells.
Yeah.
is really sassy.
This guy, I'm conflicted. I want to pet him. I feel like he would let me pet him, but he's made of fire.
I also just think it's super cute when he gets taken out of the hearth and you see his whole body.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
He's just the cutest.
It's adorable.
So
This is an amazing movie too. Oh my god. So fun.
Yeah, a super huge fan of all of the movies, but Howl's Moving Castle is definitely really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love it.
Those are mine.
These are great choices. These are amazing. Let us know in chat top 5 demons for you. We're gonna jump into mine and see. Let's see what we got. Me. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to start with this one. So, okay, I picked Hellboy, the Ron Perlman version, not the new version, and the comic book's fine, but Ron Perlman version, definitely the best version. And look, in case you were confused, I also included a beautiful picture of Ron Perlman from... it's a movie he just kind of plays this... Anyways, yeah, look, it's Ron Perlman.
It's Ron.
It's actually not even Hellboy. It's Ron Perlman, top 5 demons. The guy is so scary looking. You just know he can beat you up. I don't know. I love the guy, and I'm terrified of him, I'll be honest.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron Perlman, not even Hellboy.
Not Hellboy. Forget Hellboy.
Yeah.
This is all about Ron Perlman.
Okay. Okay.
So that's my first one. Maybe number 1. I don't know. Second up, Lord of the Pit. Very famous magic demon. One of the first demons. And I just think he's a really freaky art, and he's kind of a classic, magic demon.
Yeah.
It's a big part of me growing up, and this guy in particular. But also, very important for the channel. Basically, so he comes in, he's a 7/7 flying trample, and you have to, you have to sacrifice one of your own creatures during your upkeep, or he deals 7 damage to you. So, very on brand. You have to keep feeding. It's classic like demons. Like, this is 7 mana for a 7/7 flying trample that you have to keep sacrificing that does 7 damage to you. It just feels very on brand for us. So, it's classic. Let's get some 7s in chat. Thank you, Fugs. So, Lord of the Pit.
Amazing. I didn't even think of magic cards.
Right.
Which, but it's okay.
All these top 5s, I'm just like, you gotta think about what are your top fandoms, and then drill in from there. Because otherwise, the moment someone says name your top 5 something, your mind just goes blank. Right?
Yeah.
It
was like, what did we come up with the top 5? I started Googling top 5 lists.
Here's my top 5. Oh man, you guys can have that one for free, okay?
Yeah.
That's a preview of next week. Amazing. Cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of classic demons for me, especially early Magic, where you can because the way to play it is obviously have little teeny creatures that you just sacrifice, and then you're not losing anything. Obviously, the way to play this cat.
Obviously. Thank you.
And that's speaks to my aesthetic. Anyways, moving on. Look, this is a sword. Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see this. I'm gonna pose this question to chat. What demon is this? And first person to guess it gets a pat on the back.
a metaphorical
pat on the back. Yeah. Look, John will be eternally impressed if you guys can recognize this sword.
Ooh.
/ demon.
Wow. Yeah. I guess
John's
that's.
praise. No.
What is? Can I ask what it's from, or would that be giving it away?
This is from 40K.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll say that.
Okay.
And that's it. It's a demon and a sword from 40K.
Wish we could play some Jeopardy music or something.
I know. Jack Saunders coming on in. Is that the correct answer? Anyone else? John? You control that. Yeah. Nicely done. First of all, Jack Saunders. It is in fact Bracknyan. Which is a very, very old ancient demon. So it's cool because this is Abaddon's sword, who's the main bad guy from 40K.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, main bad guy. He's awesome. He's cool. He's done 13 Black Crusades. Technically, they all failed, but then they retconned it to say that it was actually on purpose, and it's part of a big ritual.
Of course.
So he's not a loser, okay?
Yeah.
And so he has this demon bound into this sword, which is crazy. It's so cool. And then in Horus Heresy, which takes place 10,000 years before, you're hearing about this demon and all this rampaging and stuff it's doing from the first murder, and you're like, wow, this guy's so cool. And then you at the end of one of the chapters, you find out his name. And it's
that's the sword.
That's the demon before he gets put in the sword, the thing. And it's so cool. So
is he still alive in the sword?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
So because in 40K with demon weapons, I guess this is kind of demon weapons in general.
Okay.
The demon might turn on you and try to fight you, the sword might try to kill you. So it's very much that, but he's so awesome that he can control the demon in the sword.
Abaddon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how cool he is. Not a loser. Okay. Very important.
Okay.
You're I wasn't asking before, but now I'm just wondering. So yeah, Jack Nyan, pretty awesome. And to my knowledge, and then so there's a modern day Abaddon with a sword. We find out there's demon back in the day in Horus Heresy, and then there's the middle ground of Abaddon as he rises to power after the Horus Heresy, and in the books they're talking about it, and so eventually he has to go fight the demon and get the sword. Not gonna spoil anything, but I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be awesome. All right, moving on. Be'lakor, the Dark Master. This is, so we talked about Demon Princes, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first Demon Prince.
Okay.
Theoretically. Look, he just courts all the gods, and so has all their powers equally, but doesn't pick a side. And he's just cool.
Like Horus-ish?
What's that?
Like Horus?
Like Horus? Like Horus, yes, and like Abaddon. In that they all kind of play the gods, but they don't pick one. So if that's what you're saying, yes.
Oh, he's playing the field. I get it. Okay.
Playing the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a human back in like caveman days, and then became a demon prince.
Okay.
Yeah, he's basically just a caveman demon, which is like what's not to love. All right, I think this is number 5. Oh yeah, it's Mecha Jaraxxus from World of Warcraft. Well, from Hearthstone technically.
Yeah.
Jaraxxus being from World of Warcraft / Warcraft, but Mecha Jaraxxus being, of course, the Hearthstone upgraded card, where if you bought the expansion pack, you get it for free. Basically, you have to buy it. And they're like, you know what? You know what's even crazier than like this crazy Draenei turned demon? What if he was also a cyborg?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. It's so cool. Mecha Jaraxxus, top 5 demons. That's all I have to say.
Oh my gosh.
And he makes amazing sound effects when you play him on the field. And we did it, Ron Perlman.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Well,
so yeah, chat, let us know what your top 5 demons are.
Absolutely.
And why your number 1 is Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman, number 1 demon.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Folks. There you go.
You heard it here first. It's like, so you know in the like early Batman, like the Adam West Batman, the kind of silly one, with like the bombs and everything. There's the guy that plays the Joker, and I guess he was like a really famous actor at the time, and he was like known for having his mustache, and he refused to shave his mustache off to play the Joker, and so they just painted on his mustache, so you can at all times just see this horrific, like, it's just like white skin, and then the mustache with just caked white paint on it, and it looks horrifying. Anyways, the Ron Perlman Hellboy suit, I just see the mustache there the whole time. I know it's not the same, but it's just the same thing.
And that makes him a demon. I feel.
And therefore he's a demon, yeah. Ooh, Etrigan is good, which is from DC, I believe. Actually, the DC one's probably named off an actual demon. Never mind. But the one in DC is pretty cool.
Yeah, there were a lot that were like, oh, these are, well, actual demons.
Right.
And I chose to stay away from those.
Yeah. Well,
So.
even, I mean, you picked Lucifer, but...
Yeah, but like OG Lucifer.
Yeah.
Not even like...
Right. Abaddon is a demon's name, right?
Yeah.
I forget which or what or who.
I think Asmodeus,
Yeah.
Asmodai,
Asmodai.
Asmodee is also...
Asmodai.
It's also one which I thought was interesting. Because there's a board game company called Asmodee.
Right. A very well-known one. Oh yeah, Beelzebub from Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
That is also an actual demon.
Classic.
Yeah.
Isn't he, or is it a different one that's in Guitar Hero? I think that's just the actual devil that you have to play against. You know, Mel and
Guitar
I-
Hero, the game?
The game, yeah.
There was a story to it?
Wow. No, yeah, there's a story. I don't know any more actually than that. I believe the first one had a story, and then it was more loose.
Okay.
But it's like basically, yeah, you need to like play against the devil or something. I don't know. Something awesome like that. But yeah, Mel and I were in Santa Cruz this weekend. We went to the arcade and we played Guitar Hero for the first time in years, and it was just like, we're like, how do we get Guitar Hero? Turns out it's really hard to buy, actually.
Yeah, I remember like my cousins having like Rock Band.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. Did you know that there's a Guitar Hero like Nintendo 3D
Yes.
thing?
There's like yeah, exactly.
Which is interesting.
I'm like, and there's like Clone Hero now. It's like a free thing. It's not cool.
I think everyone now is just kind of playing Beat Saber.
I know.
So, you know.
It's not the same fantasy though.
No.
You know, you just want to be like a rock and roll.
You want to play against the devil.
I want to play against the devil. Is that too much to ask? So what are you working on now?
I'm going to go in with something. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do. Maybe some lighter grays or something. But I'm trying to figure out what. Or
where?
Where.
Or who.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of planning it out. Makes sense. I've finished with my Base coat for most of the blood letters. Just gonna hit up these guys. So Michael actually did a cool thing because he built one as a skull throne, just the gun version, and then one as the, basically it's just a mount. But the guys that go on them, he also just put them on regular bases, so they're kind of like hero versions, which is pretty cool. I might reattach one to here because he's supposed to like stand back here. This guy will be the extra one, but we'll see.
So are these guys also going to be like this as well?
Yeah, exactly. But frankly, I'm going to repaint this anyways.
Oh, okay.
Because
so I was going to ask how you're going to do that. Oh, and you're going to make it red.
Yeah, I'm doing the red plates. So, but I don't know. Normally I would pop these guys off. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to futz with today or not. Because it's like red. I don't know if you guys can see, you can't see this. It's like red next to white.
Yeah.
It's like the worst. Somebody's going to lose here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't remember how I did these guys.
Well, I mean, these guys in the back seem easier.
Separate, yeah.
Yeah, because then you can just put some putty on them. That's no problem. The front guys are going to be an issue.
I just wonder. Yeah. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right. What's up, Nurgle Matthew in chat? Hope you're doing well. I did see a super chat. Chicka. All right. Thank you, Chris. So how much hex rate is too much? Thinking eye lenses for sure, but not sure how much after that. That's true. So hex rate is, they just redid it with contrast, right?
Yeah.
It's always a tough thing. Like if you have a weird paint that you love, like how much is too far? I think you could certainly do more than just eye lenses. Like,
are you asking if you want to put it on other things, or like how far out do you bring that glow?
Right. I feel like Chris is asking for permission to use more hex rate.
Which
that's what it sounds like to me.
I don't think you need permission to use.
I agree.
Anything. Honestly, to me, when it's too much is if that is the only thing that I can look at.
Yes.
And that's the only like interesting bit about it. Like if everything else is painted up to a certain level, then it sort of blends in a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it's such a personal, like, what do you want kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I know is not like the greatest answer.
What do you want?
But like, oh, what do you want to eat? Well, I don't know. What do you want to eat?
Yeah, the worst. Oh my God. Stop it.
So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think.
Yeah.
I guess you could look for things that make sense to combine it with. So like, well, what are materials that would make sense, would work to have the same material as like the lenses? So like, you could look at tubes, or if there's any portholes, you could do that like that. But certainly tubes, right? I think tubes and lenses I actually often do the same color, just because it's like my pop accent highlight color. So if that's what hex rate is for you, because you want to use it, I think that's cool too.
I think shoving it underneath like armor plates and stuff is actually really fun too. It gives you that sort of like underglow type look to it. So I don't know, cool. If you want to do more. I like following like the rules of 3.
What's that?
To like, if I'm gonna do one thing somewhere, like I have 3 spirit hosts here, and I spread them out in a way that makes them look even across the whole model. If you're gonna do something that's like a glow or a pop or something, putting it somewhere like lower on the model is good, and or maybe like in one hand and then like on like a hip or something, sort of like a triangle type feel.
Break it up but have it in 3 spots.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
It makes it look more purposeful that way. So, but that's my opinion.
No, I like that. I think that's good. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you want to use a paint, I say you just go for it. We all have things that we're excited for or we just like, I keep using moot green for all of my glows. I think
I think
4 or 5
moot green
armies.
is great.
It's a great color, you know what? And you do you. So, appreciate it. Oh no, be gone. Demons! Speaking of. Make mod. Done. Wait. They only got rid of one of them. Alright. I got it, guys. We banished them. How on brand today. But yeah, so thank you, Chris. Appreciate the support very much. And let us know how your Hex Wraith goes. Never too much. Alright, moving right along here. I realized I didn't grab the little pot. I don't know what it's called.
Oh.
You know, did it get moved? Did Zach take it home? You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed. Huh. Interesting. Oh, no, it's right here. Well, now I'm disappointed again.
No longer impressed.
I know. I was super excited that someone other than me wanted to use it.
I think you're the only one who uses it.
I know. I love it so much. Except for when you have to clean it out, then you just want to die. All right. So, let's see. We've done the base coats. And then what I actually have on each of these guys is they kind of do a bit of a gradient to black. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start applying that. Where do I start on the swords?
That is interesting that you painted up one whole model and I don't remember.
I know. This was years ago. You know? I mean, the sword is black. The sword is black.
Do you remember, like, what paints you used exactly, or do you not care?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I have a bad habit. I guess I don't have a bad habit. I always come back to the same paints over and over and over again. It's only like recently, frankly, like working with all these paints and Zach, that I've started to branch out a bit more, because he loves doing like new techniques and new colors and stuff. Once I find a recipe, like this is my brown leather recipe, this is my bone recipe, I just stick with it forever. But this I did a long time ago, so I know exactly what I was using at the time. So I think I'm gonna do the swords next, which is gonna be some golden yellow, and then some naranja, which is orange, and some red, and then the black. And then I'll have to come back and do a bit of the white at the very tip of the sword, with like the white hot space. So let's do this thing. And these Vallejo ones are very thin. You're gonna make fun of my paint terminology again, but like Flash gets yellow. I feel like you can go over a lot of colors a lot easier, but this one really needs a white base.
It's translucent.
Translucent.
There you go.
It's translucent,
Yeah.
chat. There you go. It's a feature, not a bug. So I'm going to go through with that, and then I'll do the orange. But I start with the lightest first. Off we go. Boop.
Yeah, I've been debating on how to break up the color on this a little bit, and I can go one very extreme way or one other very extreme way.
I like it. Nothing in the middle. All right, let's hear it. What are you thinking?
Well, okay, so I keep getting like told that I should put like skull decals on it. But I'm not the biggest fan of that. Like for me, when I think of Legion of the Damned, and I know I might be completely wrong because I don't really know a whole lot about the lore.
Sure.
They don't really seem like an army,
Correct.
right? And decals very much is like, look, we all have the same decals, and we're all part of the same team, and you know, I want it to seem a bit more chaotic than that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think like only reason that I would do decals is if you're gonna degrade them so severely that they're almost like ghost, like almost like, you know how a pirate ship has like torn up sails that they obviously don't use?
Yeah.
I would only do it like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think you need them.
Yeah.
So what's the other thing I think?
Having
paint
like
the skulls.
having skulls looking like they're almost coming out of the like thing. So like the spirit hosts a little bit, but like these guys are out, and then having ones that look like they're kind of like pushing through
That's cool.
a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure how I can accomplish that.
Totally.
I'm thinking of getting like the box of skulls and then like sanding down.
Oh yeah.
Sanding them down until they're flat and then molding them into it, but that obviously would undo my entire paint job.
Right.
So I don't know.
Classic.
But since I'm not happy with it, I don't really see it as too much of a loss if I were to do something like that. I just
you don't want to have a
wonder.
sunk cost thing, right?
Yeah, I just wonder.
I think that'd
'cause-
be so sick. You know, everything aside, like the effort that you've already put into it, I think that second option is way cooler.
Yeah,
You know?
I think so too.
I think it sounds amazing.
I think so too. I'm also wondering if I want to do it just like time and cost wise. It's not my tank. There's no timeline on when I have to give it back though.
Cool.
So I'm not futzing or anything. And the person whose tank it does belong to did say that if I did spend any money on it, that they would reimburse me. So
Nice, perfect.
that's not an issue. It's just something I've never done before. So
Yeah.
I wonder
Totally.
how that would turn out. But I think it'd be really cool.
I think it'd be awesome.
So
And it's not like a bad, like, first pseudo sculpting project. You know, like it's very organic.
yeah.
So there's a lot of room to make mistakes and for it to still look good. And yeah, it's not like you're trying to make like a belt buckle out of green stuff on your first go or something. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, something crazy.
I also think that maybe I should just get this done and then
Look,
do something. I don't know.
take it from the person who gets 80% through all his projects. Don't take all my advice.
Fair.
I think, yeah, I think that's also something to be said about getting a project done and trying something else. Especially because, like, I'm curious how it's been for you over the last few months because, you know, you traditionally do paint single models for a long period of time. You know, it's very different than, you know, how Zach or I paint something where we spend a very short amount of time. And how has that been, like, you've been working on this for a little while? Are you finding you want to spend more time on it, or are you enjoying doing something different, or?
I'm trying to break myself of the habit of spending too long on a model.
Yeah.
I guess we're like the opposites
Yeah,
now.
100%. 100%.
I feel like it's really hard for me to paint something up to like, okay, that's good for a tournament and then call it done.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard for me because I always kind of want to keep picking at it. And then there's a certain point where I'm just not happy.
Right.
So
That's
I don't
gotta
know.
be so difficult to turn off, because it's like, yeah, you have to basically look at the imperfections and almost not think of them as imperfections,
Right.
You know, which is really, I feel like that's harder to do than putting more effort in. Like the thing I need to do is a lot easier than the thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess it's just a mentality thing as well too. Because
Yep.
the thing is that I can do it no problem with terrain. Like there's always something that I can pick at with terrain.
Sure.
But I can just be like, that's good enough,
Yeah.
and then call it done, and then walk away from it.
Doesn't mean it's bad or unfinished.
Right. But for some reason, it's just harder to do with a model. And I thought maybe because it's not mine, that it'd be a little bit easier. And I'm not painting it for a competition or anything like that. And I know that even if I did spend a lot of time on this, I would not enter it into a competition because it has gaps and everything in it that I didn't fill.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
purposely kind of tried to avoid
Right.
filling them for that reason.
I love it.
So that I then wouldn't be tempted to turn it into a competition piece, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder. It's also a
funny.
thing where I haven't had a whole lot of time to hobby outside of this.
Yeah, I mean, this thing you pretty much just worked on the stream.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I did some of the glow off stream.
Yeah.
And then I smoothed out the Spirit Host a little bit off stream, but other than that, I've been too busy to work on it off stream.
100%.
So it's been a couple hours here and there.
And that kind of makes it like forces you to sort of reevaluate your goals. In a good case, in this case.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, what's up, Zach? Zach's in chat. Zach, we're painting. Hope you're happy. Cool. So I just finished up the yellow on my blades, and they're all here, except for the herald, which I very conveniently painted literally everything except for the sword, so it's black. But this is pretty much good to go immediately, so I'm gonna then take the orange, and because I'm doing this sort of reverse glow, which whenever I have like a bad guy, we talked a bit about this last time you and I did a show, I like to do this sort of like dirty fire effect where the brightest, the lightest, the cleanest is at the end, and the darkest is down here, which kind of, oh no, that's actually the opposite. Huh, interesting. Because this is more like a hot blade. The dirty one would be the opposite. Huh. Interesting. I've discovered something about my model. Well, if I painted this today, that's 100% how I do it. But I'm going to match it this way, which is not the dirty blade. So it's going to be darkest going to brightest, very hot at the end. All right. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to stick with it. Fascinating. We've got some super chats. Thank you very much for your support, everybody. Michael Cody, have a week so good, I almost said weekend, that you're more determined, resourceful, and enthusiastic than our friendly local Slaanesh bot. Aw. Everyone, let's give a big thumbs up, a big 7 for our local Slaanesh bots. You know, everyone needs a job. Thanks, Michael Cody, we appreciate it. And we appreciate your support. Hopefully you have a great week and weekend.
And weekend.
Yeah, you can have the whole thing. That's all you, man. You know, I'm realizing why I did the blade the direction I did. And it's laziness. It's because if I do the blade going from yellow to black, then the black can be, the bottom of the blade can be black, which can be the same color as the hilt, which is black, which can be the same color as the hand, which is black. And so it's just one big old blob.
Yeah.
Or shadow, I prefer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In your mind, where is the heat coming from? From the tip of the blade?
From the warp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, no, it's from the tip of the blade. So, like, it comes to this white hot tip where they just, like, shing, stab it through you. I remember, actually, when I first started painting these, before I did this theme, I tried a bunch of things. I didn't like any of them. I tried one where it was doing, like, kind of a glow from, like, almost their chest, like it's white hot. But if you do that badly, oh, they're back. Oh, God. Ah, Zach, you got him. Good on you. Wait. All right, there we go. Anyways, they ended up looking like rubber chickens.
Right.
Because there was a lot of yellow and then just like a bit of, it was not great. So I've kind of given up on the whole heat source thing for them. Naranja. All right.
So what are you most looking forward to coming out this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think it's the Daemons book, actually.
Really?
Not to just stay on brand. I mean, we're again kind of in this weird part of the summer where we don't know a ton of things. Angron, I'm still pretty dang excited about. But I'm kind of stuck on how to paint that army right now. Because I'm kind of wanting to get started on it. Something that we talk about on the channel all the time is like, people they ask, you know, should I work on this army? It's not very good right now, or I don't know when the book's gonna come out. And the truth is, like, by the time your book comes out, if you want to be playing it right away, you kind of need to have it done already.
Right.
So be working on what you want to play so that you're ready when ready for it to come out. Which means, for world leaders, probably need to start thinking about it, you know? I don't know when they're going to release that book, but But honestly, the Demon book is super exciting. That's like actually when I first started playing competitive, I started with Demons. I played just Demons for a number of years. So They have a soft spot in my heart. Yeah. What about you? Anything you're looking forward to coming out? GW or otherwise?
There's this sculpting studio that I follow on Instagram, and they just put up pre-orders for their latest sculpt, but it's for the world serpent. And I love snakes.
You love snakes?
I love snakes.
You're the first person I've ever heard say that.
I love snakes, and I love Norse mythology.
Yes.
And I thought it was really cool. But their stuff is huge. It's also kind of expensive. So I don't know if I'm going to get on the first round of orders. But it's called R1 Studio. And I have their like forest spirit god thing. It looks like a giant deer.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's super cute. It comes with like a sculpted like base and everything where he's like on this broken log. And it has like this little tiny bunny looking creature next to it. But it's huge. It's like
Jeez, seriously?
you
guys can't see. How big is it?
It's like this big.
Oh my god. I was picturing like a little
No.
thing.
Yeah, it's like this big. I have it. I built it. I primed it. I stuck it in a box. I've never touched it ever again.
Fair. Oh my god, are they resin?
Yes. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But yeah, it's called R1 Studio. I think I'd be excited just to see other people paint it. I think that's really what I'm most looking forward to. But
live vicariously through them.
I got super excited when I saw that they were doing it. And if I still want it, I could probably order it later on.
Do it.
But it's a really cool studio. So if anyone's looking for like, I don't know.
Do they do like busts and stuff? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. Sounds like the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They have like this dragon, this really spiky dragon. They have this like cool sort of like frost bear type thing. I don't know.
Dude.
But
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess that's really it. When it comes to like hobbying and stuff, there's like announcements aren't really made that far out, so it's a little hard.
Right.
But, yeah. I did back a Kickstarter, or I don't know if it wasn't on Kickstarter, but it's like it's a Kickstarter.
Thing,
yeah.
So not Titan's Terrain, huh?
No, but it was for terrain.
Oh, that's even worse. What's the project for, Kat? I want to hear.
Okay, so Zach was the one who showed it to me. So if you have anyone to blame, it's him.
Like our head of shipping
Yeah.
management? Great.
I think the company makes Dungeons and Lasers, but they make like D&D type stuff. But they have this really cool terrain pack where it has these beautiful, really nicely sculpted trees, and
cool.
that's what I was really looking forward to.
Your weakness is a nice tree.
Is a good tree.
Yeah. That's really cool. Oh wait, was this a 3D print campaign or physical?
It's a physical thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because I backed a Kickstarter by a guy. Non-Titan's Terrain.
Okay.
Famously, it does have terrain in it though.
Right.
I always forget his name. He's a very well-known person in the sort of 3D printing community, and he's done a bunch of these Kickstarters where they're like 4 D&D campaigns, but really it's, kind of an excuse for a series of different like biomes of like some terrain and characters and people that would live there in different like environments. And I joined the Kickstarter because they had just amazing sculpts and amazing trees. Actually, I'll have to show you. But like just really cool, just kind of twisty, I don't know, they were just really, really, really cool. So, Kickstarter that, I have all the stuff, I haven't printed any of them.
Oh, okay.
But they are cool.
Yeah.
So.
I guess that's the cool thing about the 3D printing stuff is mine's not coming until like May. Right. So.
That's fair. It still took time because they have to like the stretch goals were some of the models, they had to sculpt them, and prepackage them and support them, all this stuff. But it definitely comes faster than like physical products.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't really done many Kickstarters before, but yeah.
Yeah, I've done. I want to say maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. Are they usually like hobby things or?
I want to say all of them were hobby things except for one.
Yeah.
One of them was for a video game.
Oh.
So that was it.
I mean, what video game?
Oh, I wish I remembered what it was called, but it's very.
That's a Kickstarter.
It's like a Stardew Valley type video game.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's on an island, and so you have like underwater stuff that you can do as well too. It's still very much in beta right now.
Yeah.
But it's cute.
You're making it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm not gonna do Titan's Terrain pitch. We do have some super chats though. I'll do those. Thank you, Liberty Fires. He says, "Cat."
Ooh, hello.
Yeah. Played a lot of Crusade games this weekend. Went 0-4-1. Oh, sorry, Liberty Fires. I scrolled. This mouse won't click. Went 0-4-1, but had a blast. Ah, okay, good. There was a happy ending here. Thank you for all your hobby help. Our pleasure, Liberty Fires.
Yeah.
0-4-1. So no wins, 4 losses, 1 tie.
Okay.
Yeah, and Crusade is, you know what, honestly, Liberty Fires, I think that's fine. Because Crusade is like the narrative campaign in 40K right now. And like there are winners and there are losers, but really, if you're playing Crusade, it's about
having a good time.
Yeah, frankly, it is. You know, it's about telling a cool story and just kind of playing within that. So I think that's totally okay. But more importantly, I'm glad you had a good time regardless, whether winning or losing. So our pleasure.
Yeah.
I'd be curious what you took, like what army you were playing. Liberty Fires. Apologies if this was answered like last week or something, but always glad to hear from you. So I'm doing red now. We've done the yellow and then the orange, and now we're doing the red. And this is gonna go. I'm just gonna bleed onto the hilt because I know the hilt is gonna get covered in black, so that's totally fine. Making progress. And frankly, if I get any other over spray, I'm just gonna cover in blood.
Do you do any masking when you airbrush?
Yeah, I do. These guys is very much like the paint them in bulk kind of style, but I do a good amount of masking, either with that sort of putty that AK makes, or actually I used to use silly putty until very recently, until I found that magic that is that putty. It's just like 5 silly putty eggs in one.
Yeah, I find it's a little bit more stiffer than silly putty is,
Yeah.
which it's nicer to work with when you're airbrushing, because it doesn't like run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, my silly putty got. It's crazy how much that thing can absorb. Because I would like leave it on the desk. You should always put it away first of all. But the cat would go and like lay on it. And it would just be like a bush of just fur from this poor cat. Actually, I don't feel bad for the cat. I feel bad for the silly putty. And then I would roll it up, and it would disappear. It was like magic.
Ew.
But there is a critical mass in which actually everything just comes back at you. And I hit that critical mass with this silly putty I've been using for years.
Yeah.
Too much cat fur, but you know what? It was going well until then.
For some reason, it didn't fit back in the egg anymore.
Yeah, it's like twice the size. It's like hair sticking out. Oh, it's like partially sentient.
Did you ever play that game? What was it called? Katamari or whatever?
Oh, Katamari Damacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you picking everything up as you roll? So good.
That's your silly putty ball.
That's exactly what that would make a great game. Silly putty. But yeah, so I mask with that, and then also a lot of the time I'll mask with just an index card. You know, it's just a lot faster. The problem with the silly putty, it's great, but you have to be sure that the time you spend setting it up is like less than the time you would spend doing it some other way.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll be wary of that sometimes. That's looking good.
Good.
Not so much. Coming along.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. I will pull off what I want to do with it eventually.
Yeah.
But I hit a point where either I'm like, do I just keep going? Do I like stop, do something else? Because I do hit a point, and I talked about this last week, where I'm just kind of like, there's so many different directions I can go in, and I'm not inspired to go in any specific one. So it's a little bit hard for me to then like pick and choose.
Totally.
So
I think I spend more time thinking about what I'm going to paint than actually painting it. Especially when you're like starting off a project, you know?
yeah.
So much time with that. Do like a test model, and that doesn't answer your question. Yeah.
End up looking for like a billion pictures on something.
Yeah, you have a whole Pinterest board.
Yeah.
Totally.
My entire like phone gallery is like just screenshots.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, Black Templars, that's right. Thanks, Liberty Fire. Lieutenant, Bike Chaplain, Infiltrators, 2 units of Assault Intercessors, Crusader Squad, Apothecary, Redemptor. Oh, that's cool. That's a great Crusade army because it has a little bit of everything. That's really, really fun. I love it. Be gone, foul bots. Remove.
There's so many.
I know, it's crazy, man. All right, well, let's see. Thank you, Yoda Tech. Starting a Blood Angels army, what are your thoughts on Ball Red versus Blood Angels Red for easy/fast Blood Angels? Also, how many Sanguinary Guard is too many to run? We get this question a lot, and John and I were literally were talking about this earlier, how everyone wants to know how many Sanguinary Guard is too many.
Are they really good or something?
Yeah, they're really good.
Okay.
They're really good, especially now. So first of all, they're just cool. They're like, they have these kind of like Greco-Roman armor with like abs and like everything's like chiseled and stuff. And they have like cool kind of Greco-Roman masks as well. And they have jetpacks that also have like sculpted wings on the back. So they're just like ridiculous. And they're Blood Angels, which you know is like with Sanguinius, who is your man. So you know that's good. But they're really good in the game right now because they have jump packs, so they move fast, they hit really hard in melee, and they have armor, which is really, really strong right now. So I think they're great. How many is too many? Look, I don't even think you'd necessarily be going wrong if you ran 30 of them, which is the maximum. They're just that good right now. So I would say that.
So 31 would be too many.
31 would be too many. Yeah. That's right. Sorry, I didn't answer the question. Ball Red versus Blood Angels Red.
What's the difference?
That's a good question. Let's see. So I have Mephiston Red, which is funny because Mephiston is a Blood Angel. But we should have the other ones here so we can get your opinion on this cat. Yeah, probably the air underneath. So we're going to take a look and let you guys know. So let's see. Yeah.
Mephiston, Evil Sun Scarlet,
Do we not have
World
Evil
Bears.
Sun? Oh, you know what? Actually, this is contrast paints. I'm just realizing.
Oh, okay.
So
then that's a different.
yeah.
That's a different one.
I think. Yeah. So here's Ball Red, which is a new contrast, and then Blood Angel Red is actually an old one, so we might not have it here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So
think we
unless
do.
Zach happens to have it, this Ball Red feels like a much brighter red, and Blood Angels Red is more. Honestly, it's closer to this. It's not quite a maroon, but it's a darker red.
So I'm a bigger fan of like scarlet reds over like orangey reds.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. I think they look sleeker.
I agree.
That's it. Yeah.
No, I'm
the
the same.
darker red is really what it is. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Darker red, Blood Angels Red, there it is.
Yeah.
Paint your Blood Angels with Blood Angels Red. Although, to be fair, Ball is the planet of the Blood Angels. So, Blood Angels named color, Blood Angels named color, the other one's also Blood Angels named color. Evil Suns, not a Blood Angel. Also not technically red.
Yeah, it's like orangey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a bigger fan of like more scarlet reds than
On the same,
anything.
yeah,
So.
it just looks richer, nicer, and it'll take better to if you want to do any weathering or washes and stuff. I think that'll look really nice. So there you go, Yoda Tech, and thank you so much for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it. That's how we make everything work around here. All right, we're on to the black. So now I'm going to go back with black. We're going to do the hilts. We're going to do it's like the hands, the feet, and the back of the spines, back of the heads. And then I wash the whole thing in a Nuln Oil, which is gonna, oh, actually I have some red, I have a lot of red in here. I'm just gonna start working on these skull cannons. They need to be red. So the red, I normally start with a black base. I do sort of a gradient to red, but we can pretty much just as easily do the opposite. Sorry, Michael.
Now, were these like half painted when you bought them? Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, he had started. Michael paints much more similar to you.
Slow.
I was like, he's very meticulous. He's a perfectionist to a fault. And so he spends a ton of time on figuring out recipes. He's just very much like my antithesis. So, he wasn't really feeling the army, and it wasn't worth him kind of spending all that effort.
Right.
So they were kind of sitting around. Like, they look good. But now they're going to be red. And we know that red ones go faster.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's true. That used to be an actual rule for orc vehicles.
Really?
Is that if they were painted red, they move faster. They were like +2 inches. No points, nothing. Just if they're painted red, this is how they move faster.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
It's not a thing anymore.
Not really. They build it into the game, so like the Evil Sons have a special equipment they can buy. It's called Resmex Redder Paint. So it's very, very red paint, and they go. It basically is like when we fight, I fight first. You fight last. I'm so fast, I get to attack before you. But it's like attached to, you can't just paint your model red.
Oh, I see.
So, they have to they try to balance the game and stuff these days. It's so lame. Yeah. But it was they also had a rule for orcs with the trucks or battle wagons, where the battle wagon could carry as many models, as any orc boys as you can fit on top of it. But when you went to move your truck or battle wagon, any models that fell off would actually die in the game. It's amazing.
Oh man, it's a wonder why they don't do these things anymore.
I know, I can't imagine why. Imagine streaming top tables at a tournament and the guy's moving very carefully and they fall off and he throws a tantrum because his little toys fell off.
Oh no.
That'd be amazing. I would watch that.
Would you ever play a game of Smash Hammer?
Smash Hammer?
Yeah.
What's that? You smash your models afterwards?
Yeah, anytime a model dies, you just smash it.
Oh my god, no. No. Oh my god. Do you know who will play this? This is for very rich people.
Fair.
I know a guy who famously at a tournament rage smashed his entire army. Basically the same, it was Rage Hammer, Smash Hammer. But nobody else was playing it.
Right.
It was at a tournament.
Oh, is it because he lost?
He was just the guy has a temper.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
He just one model at a time. He's like, "Oh, you're dead? Well, fine." He stomps him. Imagine being that person's opponent. You're just like, I'd be so uncomfortable. And he's like, just because I'm not mad at you. I'm just, and he just smashes another one. Terrifying.
Do you still get points for sportsmanship?
So here's the sad tale of sportsmanship. Not really, no.
Oh.
Because people who are jerks can game the system. They say, "Oh, we're playing and sportsmanship's part of the score. Well, I'm gonna give you a 0 just because I want to win."
Oh.
And how do you reinforce that, right? Or how do you enforce that to be no? So ironically, sportsmanship scores were abused by people with poor sportsmanship. It's crazy. So there's not really a solid way to build it in. Like I remember, so actually famously, Brian, when we went to San Diego for Broadside Bash a few years ago, it was between Brian and Reese for first place. And they both had maxed out their points, everything, all that stuff. Reese was sure that Brian had won the event. Brian was sure that Brian had won the event. And they announce it, and it's Reese's name that comes out. And it turns out, so we played, 6 rounds? All of Brian's opponents had given him 5 stars out of 5, but one opponent had given him a 4 out of 5 for sportsmanship. And it's like, you can't really blame the person, because it's like, a 4 is fine, but they don't, you can't always convey like how much that actually is going to affect the person later on, you know?
Right.
And so even in that case where like it wasn't malicious, like a 4 out of 5 should be a reasonable score to give someone. Like, was it the best game of your life? No. Then maybe it's probably 4 out of 5 for some people. And so, yeah, Reese had 5 stars and he had 4 or 5 stars or whatever. And that was it.
That's unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate.
I can see why it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, so it's just very fraught, you know. It's hard to balance. We're getting lots of hammers in chat now. Thank you. Smash hammer. It's like playing for Auntie with cards.
Exactly.
I love it. I'm gonna make this a thing. Gonna bring a hammer to tomorrow's stream. I wonder what John would do. He would not handle it well. Smash it.
I think it'd be a fun prank. Just get a
A
bunch
fun prank. Gotcha. Like, good joke, bro. Jesus. I'm a little bit nervous right now. Oh, man. Bryce got second place in a 40K tournament for 5th because someone gave him 1 point for sportsmanship to win first place. Yeah.
What'd you do, Bryce?
Yeah. Maybe you should have been nicer, Bryce. Yeah, it's just very fraught. It used to be very common, but just you hear stories like this.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
That's
Hammer,
unfortunate, though.
Warhammer. That says that's what they used to call it.
Smash hammer.
I'm still not sure if this is a real thing. The fact that Seth is backing up is not helping your case.
I think if anything, that backs it up.
Backs it up?
Completely.
Yeah, but Seth's a madman, so he would play.
Seth is the reason why 40K is ruined right now, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Seth is the person who killed 40K.
If you guys in chat want to know who ruined 40K, he's right there,
Seth,
by the way.
Yeah. It's the whole thing. You can ask James.
James Workshop?
Yeah, James Workshop.
Yeah. Like, if it wasn't for Seth. All right, I officially finished the red paint.
Yay.
And now they look ridiculous. They look like kids' toys. If the kids' toys had, like, mouths and skulls on them. All right.
Oh gosh, what was I looking at the other day? It was like an apartment building that had like freshly painted itself.
Oh yeah.
And it looked like an old McDonald's because they had painted it bright yellow with like bright red accents.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, okay.
That's nice. They're like, isn't it great? It's so cheerful.
That's so fun.
Oh my god. I feel so bad. So my apartment complex is repainting, but they like sample swatches on. I think they did a couple on my place, but mostly like the neighbors, like a couple over. So they have like literally like 20 different swatches of colors all over the front of the thing.
Oh,
it
no.
looks so horrible. And then at this point, the painters came through, they painted our place. Our place looks great. It's like in the new scheme and everything. But for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, they still haven't gone over. So it's been like 6 months, these people have just insane like colors painted all over the front of their apartment. I feel so bad for them.
Well,
It's good Frank.
should give him a hammer.
Give him a hammer, yeah.
Yeah. At least it's not bright yellow and bright
True.
red.
Well, that's true. No, that's true.
It was so weird to me.
That's amazing. I love it. Look, I'm sure Zach would love it. He just famously likes
bright things.
Yeah. Things that are of questionable choice.
I think as long as you put a Lisa Frank like dolphin
Yeah.
on the side of the
That'd
building,
be
I
neat.
think that would be.
You could do paw prints. That'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool. Like, I'm kind of into it. I'm back on board.
Like the what was it? Like the Taco Bell hotel or something.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see everyone hanging out in chat. Hope you're all having a lovely evening. Getting some hobbying done. We've been, the last few months, I think, kind of saying, let's bring in what we're working on the channel, right? And just kind of work on that. Today was kind of a good excuse, because I've been meaning to do this for a while, but it's not like, fun painting necessarily. Like, I'll be happy to have these. So when we decided we were going to do the show, I was like, this is the time. Make myself do it, A bit easier hanging out and chatting when you're painting 30 identical models.
Yeah, I agree. It's been nice, like, painting not competition stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've said it a couple times that I would not paint a competition piece on
stream.
On stream.
Oh man.
As much as I don't know, people might be sad by that.
Amazing. We should do like a streamathon where you paint one, where it's like literally just like months of you just like it's like your whole life like streamed for the paint show, and you're just like painting your competition model. I think that'd be amazing.
My entire life is just stream. It's
Yeah,
the Truman
basically.
Show.
Yeah. It's the Truman Show. Yeah.
And I have to do my actual job.
Yeah, and you're just like following you, and you're just like, hey, what's up?
Day in the life
Castle.
of running a
Yeah.
chain of game stores. Yeah.
But it's like all because you're painting this competition model.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But that's like 10% of it at best.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good prank.
It'd be a prank. Gotcha. Have you heard of those streams where the streamathons where as long as people, you have a set time, and as long as people donate, then you add time to it?
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
I'm not into those.
It sounds very nightmarish, to be honest.
It sounds very unhealthy.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But I think we'll probably do it.
Kudos to people who can do that. I just don't think I could subject myself to that.
Okay, what about this?
Mm-hmm.
What about when you're painting, it's actually you, but the rest of the time it's just like Bridger in a wig. And glasses. We'll give him glasses too. It's like clearly not you. He's like, well, we'll go about my day. Does that sound better? Is that more amenable?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I love it.
I think Bridger would be on board. I think that'd be a really good prank.
Who are we pranking? Are we pranking chat or Bridger in this case?
Both, right?
It's a little bit
yeah,
of both.
a little bit of both.
Yeah. That is very true.
Chat, let us know if you'd like that. We'll look into the logistics of making that happen.
We'll make it happen. Well, just saying, we could use some more subs on this channel. So if we got a few more subs, maybe a little Bridger, little Bridger streaming as cat. Sometimes cat painting action, maybe. Little subs.
I think that'd be fun. I'm down.
Yeah. Bryce doesn't watch Bridger in a wig doing anything, so there we go.
I'm sure Bridger would be fine with that too.
He's come so far. I'm so proud of him. All right, let's see. Thank you, Hunter, for your super chat. We greatly appreciate it. Really, really does help. Would you recommend Demons for a new player? Your demons always make me want to start an army. Oh, thanks so much, Hunter. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I would. I think they're great for a new player for a number of reasons. First of all, the hobby side. They're generally easy to paint. Mm-hmm. Like you can see, this is ultimately a pretty basic color scheme. So if you're new to hobbying, they're very welcoming. Some of them, like the Demonettes. I really, really struggle with Demonettes because they have more like, they have kind of cloth and leather and kind of armor. It's a lot more materials going on, whereas these guys, they're literally just like naked. So it's a lot easier. You can just kind of do one texture, one color. So from a hobby perspective, Demons
they have
are awesome.
scales on them as well too. So
yeah.
it would be really great for dry brushing as well.
Totally.
So, ooh, more Slaanesh bots.
More Slaanesh bots, right on cue. Cheers, thanks Vina. So yeah, from a hobby perspective, they're great, very diverse. Obviously, with the book coming out, it's kind of in a weird place rules-wise. I would expect them to change, but all the books have been super fun to play with and ton of fun and more flavorful than ever. So I feel confident that it's going to be a really fun book to play. So yeah, I think they're a great starting point, honestly. So that'd be awesome, Hunter. And happy to have you on Team Demons.
I guess opposite question.
Sure.
What would you not recommend for a starting player?
Ooh, great question. I would not recommend most of the Eldar. So Crafted Eldar, Harlequins, maybe you could do Drakari, but Eldar have kind of the opposite problem. They're quite difficult to paint. A lot of weird, like, armor that doesn't really match. Like, we don't have anything to kind of base it on. It's kind of weird alien armor. It's very smooth, very punishing if you make mistakes, and very small, tiny details. Mm-hmm. And in the game, traditionally, all these armies have been very movement-based, very kind of tricksy, kind of advanced play stuff. So I would, for a new player, stay away from any of the elves or Eldar kind of stuff. That's a great question. I don't know if there's anything else I would really avoid. Orcs are a lot of work, but you know, they're awesome, so definitely don't avoid them.
I guess hobby-wise, I would not recommend chaos, like
Oh,
chaos.
like the Marines?
Yeah.
You want to do trim for your whole life?
No.
That's a very valid point, honestly. Yeah, I'd be wary of them. Definitely wary of the Thousand Suns. For hobby and gameplay.
Yeah.
Just so much trim and detail and different materials.
Yeah, the time that we painted Alpha Legion on stream, it was just all trim. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I feel like I'm almost done because I got in the base colors. Let me just go over the trim.
Right.
Oh, there's more trim over here. There's more trim over here.
Exactly.
Everything, the entire model is just trim, which sucks because then you can't airbrush any of that.
No.
So, yeah.
I know you'll have people be like, oh, you should do the whole model in the color that you do the trim, but then you have to paint the plates and you have to do them by hand.
Yeah.
So you're getting rid of any possible airbrushing you can do. So, yeah, they're really tough. This is, again, why, you know, thinking about the World Eaters, Angron's Legion, I'm really interested in sub-only chat. Yeah, maybe we should look into that at some point. So if it's sub-only chat, then the bots can't. Apparently, bots don't know how to sub, or they're, I don't know, for whatever reason. I don't know. They can't climb up hills. Anyways, doing them in like a white armor, or like a cream armor, and then doing a sort of dirty wash, and so you'll get like all the kind of trim through the wash, and maybe do like chipping and stuff like that, and not worrying about the trim. You know, I'm like trying to think of a scheme where I don't have to do that. But I don't know. I think I need to do a test model. I'm just very intrigued. We'll see.
Like, I like all their little bits and stuff. I think it makes it very visually interesting.
Yes.
But it is definitely a chore. If you like it, then that's great. And if you like painting little bits, I think that's great. But if you're looking to be able to get an army out there as quickly as possible, that's not it.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Evangelium. Oh, yeah, AdMech. Yeah, also don't recommend AdMech. Same thing. Lots of little teeny bits. Also very expensive model-wise. The dollar to points ratio is like...
The highest?
Very
Ooh,
high.
what would you say is the highest?
The highest? AdMech or Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle are crazy expensive.
Wow.
You know? They have... And both of these factions, especially Sisters, are like... Sisters are also not a good starting army, too. Or they're not starting if you're not really willing to invest a ton of time. Because Sisters aren't like technically hard to paint, but there's just a ton of tiny details, you know? Where if you leave them undone, it looks undone. So I think it's Sisters or AdMech for sure. where they're just like very points efficient, which is like good for you in the game technically, but it means you have to buy a lot of models. And for both those armies, those models are very fiddly, very precise. It's just a rough time. Unless you're strategic, like our Dark Admech, there's lots of like rust and stuff, and like weathering, so you don't, like, there's certain things you just don't need to do.
You just hide it.
Basically, yeah. Like you don't have to do 2 tones of metal when the whole thing's just gonna get rusted up.
Right.
Whereas for like normal Admech, it probably would be like get some silver, get some like brass, like ball bearings in there and stuff like that. GSC, another bad one to start with. Man, you guys are killing it. If you guys want to start any of these armies, stay out of our hobby.
No.
We're just kidding. We want you to not pick those armies so that you stay in the hobby.
Yeah, I think as, like, for me personally, if I was getting into it and it was like, oh, okay, here, paint 50,000 of these, and you got to do all the trim, and you got to do all these little bits and bobs and everything, it just, yeah.
It's no good. It's no good. Doop doop doop. I'm just painting black. How you doing?
I'm picking out details and stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm a third of the way through this black, and it's brutal. So Bryce, talking about the World Eaters. Zenith airbrush in grayscale and use contrast/speed paints for World Eaters, maybe on the panels and trim. Yeah, it's a good thought, Bryce. I do use the black contrast a lot with black, just to even just watering it down. I think you and I mentioned that before. It helps, but there's still a certain level that you have to do it.
If you, like, my thing is that, like, if you're gonna panel line a bunch of stuff, look into enamel panel liners.
Oh, right.
Because you can just slap it on and then use these to wipe it off in places that you don't want it to be in.
That's a great point.
The only thing is that you just really make sure that you are varnishing in between, like switching from mediums. So if you're going to put your base color in with acrylic, put a gloss varnish on, do your panel lining with enamels, wipe off whatever you want to wipe off,
Right.
and then varnish again, and then go back in with anything else that you want to do. Unless you are going to then also keep doing enamels, that's
Right.
fine too. The thing is with enamels is they set, but you can reactivate them with mineral spirits, which is really good for like taking stuff away.
Kind of like subtract, like you almost like over weather for these, for example.
Yeah.
And then subtract the parts that where it's like too much or you don't want it.
Yeah, like if you only want it in like the little creases around the trim,
Yeah.
then you can perfectly clean off the shoulder and everything. So
That's really cool.
that's why I like them a lot. But they do smell really bad. You do want to work with them in a ventilated area and or have like a air purifier around, stuff like that. So
Makes sense.
that's the only thing. It gives me a headache if I work with it for too long.
jeez. That's a sign. That's a warning sign.
But yeah. Yeah.
And that's also how you can kind of get that like grim dark look, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of like oil paints and enamels and stuff are kind of what people use for that aesthetic because it looks very photorealistic. People use for that aesthetic because it looks very photorealistic. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I need to play around. I just need to prime a few models and just try and see what I feel the most comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like we were saying earlier. Spend more time thinking about it, right? All right, let's see. Cool.
Yeah, I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's different chemicals and I don't want to touch that. But then I discovered how easy they were, just out of sheer desperation, because I needed to quickly weather something.
Oh, that's funny.
And how easy it was to work with and how messy I can get with it, but then still be able to like clean everything up, which is why I liked it. So
That's funny.
yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, we need these things to kind of shake us out of our habits, you know? Like, I think I started using pigments when I was at, this is not an ad, I was at a game castle, and it was just like in the clearance section, like just one random pot of Vallejo rust, and I was just like, sure, why not, you know? It's like $2, let me mess around with this thing, and then I discovered it, and it was just magic, and now it's like a big part of when I weather things. So
it's funny because when you went to Europe and Zach and I were painting your Chaos Knights and stuff, you left like a little bit of a recipe, and I was like, oh, this would be so much easier if this was enamels.
Yeah. That's really funny.
And that's essentially what it is.
Right.
Instead of adding the water, you would just add mineral spirits. And then you'd be able to, like if you got it on everything, but you wanted to then like have the shiny pipe like peeking through, you can then take a makeup sponge with some mineral spirits and then wipe it off. And then you'd be good to go. So
what is really like the difference between those pigments and the enamels themselves?
So what this specifically is pigment in mineral spirits.
Okay.
So that's why it settles pretty hard.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is.
It's basically pre-prepped.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then you can get oil paints and stuff. And thin them with mineral spirits and make oil washes, and so it's essentially like less chunky because these are deposits, and so they are meant to leave behind chunks and stuff. So this is essentially pigments, mineral spirits with some oil paints to like give you that color as well too. But yeah,
the oil paints is just so without the sediment basically.
Yeah. So that's essentially what these are.
Interesting,
So if anyone is wondering, but these AK stuff, I know Mig makes them as well too. I know that there's one that is going around like crazy. That's like the super credit up one. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, it's essentially what it is.
I continue to be impressed by AK. Everything they make is amazing. So in a bit, we might do some fan stuff.
Yeah.
Which will be fun.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff this week.
Yeah,
a lot of great stuff.
I haven't seen this.
Held myself back a little bit more than I did last week, because last week we had to make 2 fan stuff.
What?
Because we discovered that there's like a file limit.
That's crazy.
Like a size limit, not number.
Yeah.
And so I had to go in, cut a bunch of the pictures down, and then we still had to make two different things.
I love the dedication. That's amazing.
But this one, I restrained myself. There's not 30 this time, but I did cut a lot of the pictures down. So in order for me to be able to fit everything in one.
Right. So. I love it. Dude, we have a very, very talented community. So much amazing work that's happening there. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, it's totally free. Should be a link below, but I'm just realizing that there's not. Join the Discord. And, gosh, they're back again. Get out of here. Shoot. Put user in timeout. You guys got it. Thanks, Vino.
Thanks, Vino.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy.
I haven't tried Duncan's paint. Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Is it out?
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's that one, and then you know what Zach got really excited about the other day? We were kind of making fun of him. Was the green stuff?
The dip paint.
The dip paint.
Yeah.
And we're like, isn't that just contrast or speed paint? And he's like, but like it's green stuff. And
he wants to try it.
Yeah.
He wants to try it.
And they're like, it's dip paint, but you use a brush. I'm like, then that's not the dip technique then. So it's contrast? Which again is fine, but like, I don't know, we literally have the entire line of contrast paints.
It was also a thing of like, I looked and compared how many contrast paints there are versus how many dip paints there are.
Oh yeah?
And
what'd you find?
There's, I want to say, I don't know, I posted it in our little group chat thing, but it was like, there were 3 times as many contrast paints than there were dip paints. And so I'm just wondering like what the color comparisons would be. It would be interesting to see if there really was a big difference between the two. I think is really what Zach is trying to
Or even
discover.
the uniqueness, maybe. You
Yeah.
know? Sometimes you go to a line of paint just because they have something that's not available. But with the second kind of batch of the contrast, that it's a big deal actually for competitors, right?
Mm-hmm. And I know that Army Painter has their own,
Yep.
the speed painting stuff,
Which is decent.
which I'm getting into. I like having multiple things out there on the market because then
Yeah.
you can compare and contrast and see
Yeah.
what you like more.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of enamel washes out there. I just use the AK stuff because that's just what we sell in the stores.
Totally.
And it was also one of the first ones that I got introduced to, but I'm not like trying to say like use this and use this only.
Yeah.
It does look like I'm sponsored by AK, but I've bought everything with my own money.
Totally. This episode is not sponsored by Contrast, but no, I'm the same way. I'm not super precious, but again, that's why I'm like, well, like we have what we need right now, so I'm not like dying to rush out and try a new thing. But certainly, yeah, more's not a bad thing. So I'm curious.
It is interesting though, and I do know that Green Stuff World has their own line of paints, and I haven't tried any of it. It's also something that you don't easily find in stores too.
Well, that's the big problem with getting their stuff here, right? Because they're in the UK, they don't have any distributors here, so it takes a long time to get stuff.
Yeah, the only store that I've ever gone into that had Green Stuff World stuff in it was Games of Berkeley.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so random.
And they're not like a big painting store.
They're not at all.
They're mainly like board games and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was really interesting. It was really cool, but it's also Berkeley, and so I'd have to drive way out of my way to get to it.
Fascinating.
So yeah. But there is a reptile store in Berkeley that I like visiting. So
That's amazing.
yeah. Yeah, Asmodee has the distribution rights for Duncan Rhodes' paint line.
Oh, okay, I see.
So perhaps we'll get them in our stores, but
cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, be curious to try them.
We have a bunch of paints that we sell, so it's harder for us to bring in a new line when we already have like good ones.
Totally.
So, yeah. I am interested in checking them out, and I know Duncan will be at the LVO.
Heck yeah.
So I know he's going to be doing some painting stuff. So quick plug for the LVO painting program.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are interested, tickets are live. I don't know if there's any spots left in classes because I haven't checked.
Going fast. Or maybe gone.
Yeah. So look, is really it. But yeah, I know Duncan and his team will be at the LVO.
So cool.
So maybe he'll bring some paints and stuff, and maybe I'll get to ask him about it. But
Heck
we'll
yeah.
see.
Should. You know, I met Duncan once.
Wow.
Pretty famous. I was being super shy, actually. Me and my friend were like, it's Duncan.
Oh no.
You know? Yeah, Mel actually has officially signed up for a couple paint classes at Nova.
Nice.
Which will be fun. I think she's doing edge highlighting class and I forget the other one. It was like a whole thing because there was a bunch of classes and she kept being like, oh, like, I need to show you the class I'm interested in. And we're like, yeah, we'll do it for sure. And then we like finally sat down and she's like, oh, I found like this new class that's like, it was like so perfect. It was like airbrushing like big monsters and beasts and stuff. It was like totally her jam. And then she's like, oh, this is the perfect one. Yes, like I want it. Click on it. Sold out.
Oh no.
And it's like, you know those things where you don't know you want it or you didn't want it until you suddenly couldn't have it?
Yep.
It was like that. She's like, oh, God, well. But there's a lot of classes, which I'm curious. And some of the classes say they're actually being taught by GW. And I'm like really curious what that entails. I mean, it's...
So it usually means that it's like a GW sponsored class.
Oh, so they bring in an outside person.
Sometimes. Like I know Caleb Wissenbeck, has taught GW classes before, but he doesn't necessarily like
Work for them.
work for them. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because they don't say the instructor, whereas most of them will say the instructor, and this one's just like Games Workshop or nothing. Frankly, some of them just say nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it just kind of depends, really. Sometimes they'll bring in like someone not from their heavy metal team, but like someone that they've worked with before, or maybe like a previous heavy metal painter, stuff like that, or someone that they're bringing in from the outside, and it's really mainly like it's sponsored by them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because that was my only, not fear, but I was like, we're looking up the paint classes and trying to look up the painters that are teaching them, because that's, part of the advantage is like getting the individual personality of these people. Not that I'm also interested in hearing like, what would Games Workshop say about how I should paint my models? That's interesting to me, but for her who's like really trying to just take the class to like get better. Better
in general, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily for Games Workshop stuff.
Exactly, yeah. or their techniques,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been interesting.
So yeah, that's usually what that means is they sponsor the class and they bring in someone else. But it is weird that they didn't list an instructor.
Yeah,
so
it's very strange.
Yeah.
It's just like, the company is teaching the class. I'm like, all of you? Like, what? How is this going to work? It's a very unhelpful description.
It's just James is there.
Yeah, James. My God, it's James Workshop. Catching up on chat. Oh, Sieresco. Yeah, shout out to Games of Berkeley. Have you been there recently?
Mm-mm.
They did, not an expansion, but they had...
What do you mean recently? Like within...
a couple months?
No.
Yeah. Like, I know it's not post-COVID, but I'm trying not to say post-COVID because we're not post-COVID, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
They have way more product, especially painting and GW product.
Oh, that's good.
So they were at their old location. They had almost nothing when they were on Bancroft, or whatever the main street is. And then they moved to this new location. They got a bit more, and they got a bunch of gaming space in the back, which is super cool. And now, I don't know when it happened, but sometime during the pandemic, they've got way more support and a lot more Vallejo paints actually too.
That's good.
So I was like super shocked when I went in. And they had all this stuff. It was really, really cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that, I haven't been there in a bit. I know that Legends in the Valley Fair location moved to a bigger spot.
When was that?
Recently, I guess.
Whoa, what the heck?
I was there last weekend.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And they have a bigger spot now, so I'm wondering what it's like. I was walking by it though. I was there for a reason, and that was it.
Right.
So.
Are they still in the mall though?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if perhaps they have some game space, because I know that they didn't at all at that location.
Man, that would be awesome.
And they had the smallest little Games Workshop section. And
yeah.
So.
Exactly. That's so funny. Boop, boop, boop. Right. Slowly working my way through. Shall we do some fan stuff?
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right. So again, this is just from our Discord. If you guys want to join us, totally free. And if you post up in Hobby Progress or Terrain or Armies on Trade.
Hobby
Talk.
Yeah. I poke through all of them.
Yeah, everywhere. Post up and look. We look through, and it's just kind of showing cool things that people are working on, honestly. And if you do want your credit, if you want to have your like Instagram handle or anything, just put that in the image, because we just grab the images, especially because we'd rather show more than have to spend extra time making sure we put the name on top. So just a note if you guys want to have that happen. All right, fan stuff. Assume number 1, not 2. Oh, I did the old school one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, number 1.
This is called, okay, we didn't actually ask him, but we think John would like this stuff. Oh, this is awesome.
It's Broken Chef.
Broken Chef.
Yeah.
42 miniatures.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it.
There was a bunch. There's a bunch of them. There was 2 shots of this one. There was a bunch of other ones. I liked the detail on the little like seahorsey thing.
Right?
I don't know what it's called.
It's I forget.
Yeah, and I like the base on this one, which is why I picked this one.
The
if
base
you're
is
wondering,
amazing.
Broken Chef, but yeah, it's super cool. But that's another thing, though. If you put your name on it, I will definitely pick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Mind behind the judge. I also love the scheme too. Like sort of like more neutral or natural earthy tones. It's like yellow, but like also kind of an earthy yellow, and then just the crazy aqua blue.
Yeah.
Super nice. Oh my gosh, this guy continues to just like blow it out of the water and push the bar.
Just pumping
you
out
know?
miniatures as well too.
That's nuts. All right, let's see what's next. Oh yeah, Black Templars.
I think this is Liberty Fires.
Liberty Fires.
So yeah, this was really
That's so
cool.
cool.
There was a couple pictures of this work in progress, but I
Mm-hmm.
did pick the one that he said was finished. So
I love it.
yeah, I love the decal work on this one.
I was just about to say, this is what decals are for.
Yes.
Especially that like nice contrast, the black on the white. Oh, I love it.
It was really good. It was
So
really
nicely
good.
done.
It was also like, okay, I don't want to put decals on
Yeah.
this. Because it looks very army,
It's
right?
very-
like,
yeah, exactly.
which is great, because I mean, that's what you want with the Black Templars, but it's not necessarily the headcanon that I have
of the
for
Damned.
Legion
Yeah.
of the Damned.
They're like,
so.
hold on, guys, we gotta go pink the more decals on.
Yeah.
Not that that's what your Black Templars sound like, but if Legion of the Damned did
Yeah.
it. Wow, this looks really good. I'm just like seeing it here from this front.
Oh, thanks.
The glow is really nice.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll go back in and add it again, because
Yeah.
I'm doing the chipping on top of it,
That looks
which
amazing.
doesn't necessarily make any sense.
Right,
but
you'd
yeah.
have some glue on top. Well, they look amazing. Deep Mare. That's the name of the seahorse.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Bug. What?
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. This is really, really, really cool. Very simple, like in design, but the execution was very good. I love the mat
amazing.
and everything, and yeah,
Are these real rocks? They look like
no idea.
they look so realistic.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's really cool.
I love it. This is super cool.
It's super cool. It definitely inspired me to make like an ice table
Right.
at some point. I think that would be really fun.
Well, you know what I like about it too is it's an ice table, but it's not mega white, which meant theoretically for streaming this, it wouldn't get blown out.
Yeah.
Because the snow looks so good in person, but when you put it on the screen, it's just blown out.
Yeah. These are like rocky ice cliffs type things, jagged, icebergs, stuff like that. Yeah.
So cool. Getting some like Lord of the Rings vibes here, you know? Got some Peter Jackson going on. Yeah, Black Legion, baby! Talk about trim.
Yeah. Talk about me cutting pictures down. So there was another one that was next to this as well too, just on the back of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple like that on here where it's like I had to pick one.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I thought this was really cool.
That's awesome. I love it.
And there's also a bunch of pictures of the rest of the army, with the
Okay.
same background and everything. So if anyone hops onto the Discord, you'll know exactly what it is. But yeah, I liked the base on this actually,
Right?
and how like smooth it was. Because I know like I'm super into really dynamic bases and stuff. I
Yeah.
just thought the base for this fit very well.
Yeah. It's simple, but it works really well. And it like doesn't detract from the model.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes the danger.
Yep.
Oh, some nice incursors. Are these flesh tearers, I think?
Sure.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, those.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
definitely some
Those are
flesh tearers in there.
definitely
They look awesome though.
really cool.
And I also like the basing here too. A little bit busier, but it works. It works honestly.
It's somewhat the same as the other one, where but like there's like sand on it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I like this. I want to gesture with the mouse. The little green blade. I'm a big fan of like green energy accents with red.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not too Christmassy, but like it sounds like it's Christmassy when you say it. But when it's applied like this, it's really nice.
Well, because the red is very like rust red, like almost like an iron red, which I like a lot. And to have such a bright green, like dagger with it, I think works.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryce is saying they have word bearers icons. I gotta get closer.
Oh.
Which is a Chaos Space Marine chapter. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, they totally do. Huh. That's cool. I'll be honest, I kind of like it more. Very cool. Next up, Custodes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that? Oh, it's your laptop. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I want to be painting
That
on your
view.
painting, right? I wish it was. Yeah, just cropped a little bit more. I would totally believe it. Yeah.
I thought that was cool too.
I love it. It is a good use of the background though, because it kind of separates it. It's beautiful. I love that gold.
Mm-hmm. I like the red plumes in the helmets.
Helps it pop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think obviously when there's so much gold, you got to break it up somehow.
True. I'm not usually a huge fan of mixing like silvers and golds together.
Oh yeah.
But I think this one works really well.
Yeah. Another way to break it up, right? How do you feel about edge highlighting gold with silver? I think I've asked you this before, but I can't remember. Does that offend you, or
I
care?
think with anything, it just depends on what it looks like afterwards.
Yeah.
If I can't tell, then what does it matter?
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. It sounds weird, but it's like totally fair. Yeah. Hey, more Custodes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. This person said that they use 3 different golds on this.
Break it up. Yeah.
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 Which, yeah. It looks very, very, very gold, but you can kind of tell where the different ones are.
Oh yeah. Now I'm getting up to it. I can see. I love it. I also love the basing too. The flowers.
Yeah. It's cute.
And the black. It's just with the Custodes, it's always how do you break it up? You know, how do you make it not just so much gold everywhere? So I'm into it.
I've seen a couple different like reanimated Custodes type things, like they were statues, but then
that's cool.
you know they were reanimated or not reanimated, but like the souls were put into them.
It's
I
like
think
terracotta soldiers almost.
almost something like that, or more like Full Metal Alchemist, like kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I've seen some different paint schemes for that. So
I really like. I have one Custodian model I painted in like a cream color, so it's like cream with just an accent of gold. It's very like paladin kind of colors. If I did a whole army, that's what I would do. I love that combo. Oh yeah, I get that Fire Inks action.
Yeah, this one was super bright. I think they said that they used, or they were trying out the different contrast paints.
Oh,
So.
and you can't even tell at all too.
Yeah, which I thought was really, really, really cool.
It's very rare to see this like navy blue with a red. It's so rare. Like you try to think, when we start painting armies, it's like what's a unique combo that's not often used? Frankly, this.
They're kind of superhero colors in a way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look very superhero-y here. So.
No, it's definitely working for you, but it's very unique. I love it.
Yeah. The model's also really cool as well too. I think it lends itself to the contrast paints really well because all the different like fur textures
Organic
and stuff. Yeah.
When the pandemic started and everything was kind of closing down, Mel and I were like, we want to support our local businesses. So we went down to Game Castle. Again, not an ad. Hashtag not ad. And we spent like $300 because we're just like, first of all, we were, emotionally having a tough time, as everyone was. And we wanted to support the stores that nobody was going to. So we bought a bunch of stuff. One of the things I bought was this model. Still haven't painted it.
Oh, okay.
I built it immediately. I primed it.
Is it 80% painted?
No, it's just white. It's just primed white.
Oh no.
Because it's like you just look at them all. You just want to paint it,
Yeah, I saw. I want to say like 4 of these at the Golden Demon.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's just that's Golden Demon bait right there.
Yeah.
Amazing. Such a cool model. One day I'll paint it. Ooh, nice. Some more Chaos Space Marines.
The tactical skulls.
The tactical. I was wondering, like, the single skull feels intentional. I wonder if those are like squad markers.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, this is squad, they all have 1 skull.
This
squad, they have 2 skulls.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Could be.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like this a lot. And again, nice use of the background. They're using one of the GW boards. to block out the background. So, I'll give you know. This looks awesome. I love it.
Yeah, they were really cool. But speaking of trim.
Speaking of trim, gosh. People are just gluttons for punishment. People just really like chaos, too.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They're very dynamic.
Yeah.
But trim.
They're fun. I will say, if you don't have, if budget is a concern, and you're not needing to rush out to places, this could potentially be a fun army because you can just spend a lot of time with it.
True.
You were saying about like the little bits and danglies on everything, right?
Yeah.
So like by contrast, if you can only afford like a box, like look, get this. This will set you up for a while. It's a big paint project. You can just 10 of these guys.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah.
Is really what it is.
So this is the flip side of it. Oh, I love the scheme.
Yeah.
This looks like Horus Heresy Dark Angels. So before they were green, they were black and red and white. But these look like they actually are White Scars, maybe? I don't know this symbol.
I wish I remembered. I remember most of what people say when they post them, but
Yeah.
sometimes I forget. But
No
whose ever these are did say what they were.
They were.
Yeah.
These are amazing.
And I believe this one was under Hobby Progress. So if anyone wants to scroll through, but I liked the picture so much.
It's just gorgeous,
so much.
right?
It's just such a good picture.
And that banner.
But yeah, and I like the weathering on them a lot.
Super impressive. So if anyone knows, let us.
And the red helmets were actually really cool too.
It's just, I love it. It's so good. Oh, Khorne, skull for the skull god, blood for the blood dudes. Oh, they actually have the second. So this kit is 2 models. It's the Demon Prince on the left, and then it's the Herald on the right. And they've actually modeled both of them on the same base, which makes it like a buddy cop movie. Which I'm kind of into. It is totally like you would watch that movie.
Yeah.
God, it's so cool. I'm gonna get this model. I'm gonna get this model. This looks amazing.
It was really cool. I thought it was super cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like the cloak on this one a lot, or the little tabard, whatever it is. The skirt.
The butt flap.
The skirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
The front part.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I like the eyes a lot.
The eyes are really cool
The
too.
clothes.
Yeah.
So, a lot of nice details around. Oh, this is Fear. Top
Yeah.
right. Got your name. What's up, Fear?
Yeah. Thank you for putting your name.
There you go. Guaranteed spot.
It's also really good too. So.
Yeah, no, it's really, I like the ashen skin with the glowy eyes. So cool. Bug says White Scar.
Yeah. I also like the red hammer on this one.
You know, I've never seen a red hammer, but I really, really like it.
Yeah, it looks solid. I don't know.
I was gonna say expensive.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like there's something about it.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
It looks like you would buy it in a fancy store. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Sir Esco once again with what's the campaign? We were just talking about it. Bad Dab War Salamanders. There you go. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, that was
sorry.
the tip of my tongue.
Did I interrupt
I wanted
you?
to give you a chance, honestly.
yeah. You know, I appreciate it. It's my ego needs it. Amazing as always, right? It's just so good. I'm a huge fan of rusty earth bases. I don't know. There's something
Martian
about it.
Earth.
Martian Earth.
Yeah.
Like truly Martian Earth. Not that I dislike the GW one, but this specifically, you know, it's just a shade or so off of even like the rust that you have there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an oranger version of this, darker one.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
I agree. I also just like how it like, because the model is yellow, it almost looks like he's like blending down into the ground.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool.
He's stealthing into it. Mars is the goat. Agreed. Ooh, Master Possession.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think I showed one of these guys last week. I think
Yeah.
there's 2 of them in this one.
They're a pair.
And I just I like the model a lot.
It's a sick model, right?
Yeah.
It's so sick. You know who doesn't like this model that much? I want to call him out. Zach.
Really?
Yeah. He's just like, he says it's too unique. He's like, yeah, like, I don't know. He just has something against it. What's up with that, Zach? Why don't you like the Master Possession? It's such a cool model.
Oh, he didn't say anything last week. But
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
Now
Zach.
I know.
Yeah.
Now
you
I
ask
know.
him next time.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, why don't you like the Master Possession? Such a cool model.
It's really cool. But this one's the more colorful of the 2. But speaking of blue and red together.
That's so funny,
Yeah.
right? Calling my bluff. I like it. It could be a Night Lords. They're blue and red. But they're mostly blue with just a teeny tiny accent of red. So
Oh, okay.
that's what you don't see often. I love it. And I also got to say, the green warp fire, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's like you're Skaven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. 90s Warhammer. Yeah, totally agree, Andy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm into it. Oh, what's up, Cody Bernard? Dude. Oh my god.
This one was super good. This one was super, 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 super good. He also included a picture of the back of it as well
Yeah.
too, so you can see like the beautiful blends and details on the wing.
This
But
guy's
I picked the
nuts.
face shot because, you
Holy
you get the tail, you get the face, you get everything.
Yeah.
It's super good.
Jeez, another great example of the black, right? It's not just black. There's the kind of gray, even some white in there, and it just blends so nicely into that red. It's kind of like those Terminators, right? It's just, oh my goodness, madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach's getting hot takes and not even here. Amazing work, Cody. Whoa.
This was just cute. It's on like a beach base with
Oh,
a
so
parrot, and
good.
so like, is it like a pirate?
So this actually is a pirate,
Oh,
technically.
okay.
It's an Eldar Corsair. So they're pirates, but they're sort of like loosely pirates, but they're definitely pirates.
Right.
So the beach theme is like amazing. And I don't know if he has the bird normally. I think he might, but it's obviously not normally a parrot.
Right.
Which makes this even better.
Yeah, it was super cute.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so cute.
But I like the base a lot. The
Yeah.
parrot and just how colorful this guy is too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so fun.
Very, very piratey.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a macaw. Sorry.
It's a parrot.
Isn't a macaw a type of parrot? I'm not going to look it up.
Ooh.
I'm standing by it. Standing by it. What? So this is, I think, Librarian Dreadnought for Blood Angels, your chapter. You know what's funny? I don't know that I've ever seen the actual model. Like, we have John's one, which is kind of like a weird version. This is really cool. So he's a librarian, so he's like a psyker, right? Which is why the kind of chest piece is blue, because the librarians traditionally wear blue. But this is the Dreadnought version, which means that he is basically dead, but he's like interred inside of this thing, which is basically a coffin, but also he fights from inside of it. So it's like he might not have arms or legs
While
or anything.
he's dead?
He's like near death. He's like, he could just be like a head in there, kind of floating around.
So is he? Oh, okay.
It's like great warriors can keep fighting, even though they don't really use their bodies.
Yay,
But they're still great warriors, apparently. So, yeah. So that's what that is. It's actually like basically like a walking sarcophagus.
And then he's a librarian, so he's got a book.
Yeah, he can read from
Yeah.
his shoulder, and he casts spells.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That librarians cast spells. They don't. It's, you know what I'm realizing? These are very strange choices that they made. Librarian. He's a librarian, right?
Yeah, sure. The base on this one was super cool. There's a couple other shots of other pieces in their army with the same like molten lava base. So, yeah, I thought they did a really good job.
I love it, and that's by hand too. Super, super tough to do. I love it. Yeah, Imperial Fist, that's my boys. I think airbrushed, judging by the yellow on the
Blue tack.
blue tack.
Yeah.
Love it. Very clean too. Oh,
Yeah, I like the edge highlighting on the cape and stuff. That one was really smooth.
makes it pop. I really like when they sculpt in that style and then people highlight it with the paint, where it's it's like cloth, but it's almost kind of structural, where it has these almost cartoonish kind of edges to it. I don't know. There's just something like very satisfying. It feels very stylized.
It's very purposefully pleated.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a WoW character model, right? It's like so stylized,
very cartoony,
and it's like not even trying to be something else, you know. So I just love that. Wow. And you weren't kidding. You picked a lot of these.
I think there were 23.
Oh my god! Look, this is amazing. This is the new kit.
Sure. Yeah. I think I featured the same person's one model last week, but they finished the rest of the squad. But they have some really cool freehanding on the back of the capes and stuff as well too. But this one showed the detail and the weathering and everything like that on the purple armor, which I don't know if it's purple for a reason. But
could be Titans purple.
Yeah, that's definitely what stood out the most. It was the purple and the green.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also like the two-tone mask. The white and the black is really nice. Keeps visual interest, you know.
But yeah, I really like the purple on this one.
Purple's a great color for Eldar, if I do say so. Oh.
Now the other one.
The other one.
Yeah.
That's a totally different style.
Yeah.
Different approach. That's great.
Yeah, I like the icy fire on this one.
Yeah.
But this is another one where they had multiple like angles, and I had to cut it down to pick one.
So people can see the rest on Discord.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely go check it out, because the entire model is so beautiful. But I like the weathering on the staff. But yeah, I thought it was cool. It was the first blue one that I've seen.
Yeah, totally. I love the icy look. And the base, too. Really supplements it nicely. Huh. Oh, they're Genestealer cultists. Oh my gosh. I like this because it's so different from my army, where mine's very bright and colorful. And these guys are very like grim, dark, spooky cultists you wouldn't want to run into a dark alley.
Yeah.
But luckily, you're running to them in an open field with flowers, so it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's like kind of scary.
They're frolicking in a meadow. Yeah.
It's lovely. I really like the restraint here, you know? Let's take a closer look. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, there's something just really eerie about that.
Yeah. Where they look very scary, but like here's this bright, fun, happy face.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vino, for taking care of those bots.
Cheers, Vino. Thanks so much. No, that's really, really nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey, we did it.
Yay.
The Deep Mare, once again. Look, amazing stuff, as always, from the community. Thank you guys. And again, if you want to have it shared, just post up in the Discord, and we're just looking to find cool stuff and celebrate that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, let's see where we're at. Did my glue dry? All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Oh, I should have done one more than I have 10 left. Cool beans. I'd like to get a bit farther on the black here. Oh no, I did do. Perfect. I have 10 left. If possible, how are you doing? You're kind of just
I'm just
finding
picking
details.
away. Yeah.
Cool.
It's just weathering.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So I'm gonna keep going for a bit on this. We'll get through some super chats, and then we probably finishing up in a bit.
Sure.
All right. We do have some super chats to catch up on too. Thank you, Kaldorf. Hi, Hobby Titans. Hello. What about colors for Skaven Flesh? Need base and 2 highlights for characters. Also, what about for clan rats? What contrast? TY. Which means thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. YW. NP. Colors for Skaven Flesh. So I actually just had to figure this out for mine. It's going to be a bit different for everyone.
Pink.
Pink? Pink? Oh, I like pink.
Like little pink little rat bellies.
Oh, that's a good point. That's true. Actually, I agree. So I'm like doing mostly fur with a little pink.
Yeah.
So like my Storm Fiends, I'm doing kind of like this pallid kind of flesh, but with like bruises and stuff. But they have cute little pink little noses.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no fur. So I'm a fan of pink. I really like pink and like reddish kind of noses on like their snouts, almost like they have a cold. Like just push it, you know.
Oh, I like their like little e-girls.
Mm-hmm.
And they have just a bunch of blush right there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Anytime anyone's like, oh, there's this, right? Skaven are based off of rats.
Sure.
I don't know. Just go look up some rats.
I mean, look, that's not a bad idea, honestly.
But the best part is if you look up like fancy rats, which are what you keep as pets, and not like sewer rats.
Oh, yeah. Skaven are probably sewer rats, though.
Sure, yeah, but like, you know, give them some variety, because sewer rats are just like
all the same.
Brown.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question in of itself, you know. Would you paint them all the same?
No.
No.
No. Yeah, I would not.
Fair enough.
I'd probably pick like one or two. Maybe like two or three.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
5 or 6.
Like, I don't know.
I agree with you in theory. I thought I was going to paint mine differently, and then I ended up doing them all the same. But different clothes, right?
That's
for
fair.
squads.
That's fair. That's fair. No spots or anything?
I might later on. Again, I got to do like my 80%, right?
Right.
So, I think one of the things to think about Kaldorf too is what color, again, are their clothes and their armor. And the clan rats are super weird. I had a heck of a time trying to figure out because they actually are so inconsistent.
Are the clan rats like the ninja ones?
They're the basic ones.
Oh, okay.
So actually, last time you and I did a stream, those are the ones I had.
Oh, okay.
So they like, some of them have armor, but not all of them. And then some of them have one piece of cloth. Some of them have like cloth and like a hood, which could usually be a different color. So it's very inconsistent, right? You can't talk about having a tough time figuring out a game plan for. But I feel like that probably determines a lot of like what you want to do for their fur and their skin.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is remember that they're rats, and you know, remember that they have fur, or they don't, and they're like naked rats.
Naked mole rats, Skaven. That'd be cool.
Then a pale pink would be super cute.
I'm kind of into the pale pink, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm into pale Skaven just in general. I want to do Skaven with like a really black fur, but then all their clothes are probably going to be pretty dark and grimy, and I don't know, so it doesn't give you the contrast. Yeah, I'll do that. Light color. Contrast. So for mine, I'm trying to paint most of I'm doing the fur and skin in airbrush, and then I'm trying to do most of the clothing actually in contrast. Just try something different. And it's easier to kind of paint when like at the coffee table. I don't bring the airbrush, you know, watching TV. So I've been doing the Black Templar for black cloth, obviously, and then also Garagak Sewer or Rattling Grime. I've been using for a lot of the different browns, but I haven't been watering them down.
Very fitting. Yes.
I know, appropriate, right? I think Garagak Sewer I like the most watered down. If you just do it like raw and like unfiltered, it's a little too contrasty.
It's too strong.
Yeah, it's too strong. See, use one of my terms. It's not translucent enough, chat.
There you go. Yeah.
So, thank you as always, Kaldorf. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, and unless it's going through an airbrush, I don't use contrast paints like just right out of the bottle.
Yeah.
I always like watering them down, and I just use water. I know that there's contrast medium and everything like that, but with how quickly I'm working with it, I just use water.
Totally. Unless you're watering it down excessively, it's fine. You know, sometimes when you water down like a wash too much with water, you can get like, it starts to turn kind of gray afterwards. But I doubt you're going to water it down to that extent with contrast. So.
Yeah. Well, I also find because water is a universal solvent, you start to break the surface tension of your paints as well too, and then it dries very splotchy.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to be careful about that.
So yeah, the way that I use contrast paints a lot is through like weathering and stuff though. And so I'll water it down a ton, I'll slap it on some stuff, wait a little bit, and then just wipe it off or dab it off with like a paper towel. That's how I did the bone dragon terrain from the Thondian Stronghold box.
Oh yeah, which looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you. But I watered down snakebite leather and Cygor brown.
I really like snakebite leather.
Yeah.
That's like my OG.
It's very golden.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just slapped it on, and then I wiped it off with a paper towel.
Right. Doesn't always have to be something fancy or a special product. We say as we talk about using contrast.
Yeah, which is, I would consider a fancy product.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No.
I like it.
It has its uses. I would agree.
Exactly, you know. Thank you, Caldor Drago's left arm. Thank you so much for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it, and good to hear you. Sup, Titans? Currently having a Titan fight with my buddy. I'm using my new Chaos Knights. He's using my Imperial Knights. Send help, please. Oh, man. You're using the Chaos Knights. Look, we're playing Imperial Knights tomorrow on Titans, Tabletop Titans. And John was just telling me about their secondaries. Holy moly, they are stronger than I thought. That's quite scary. So he's playing Chaos Knights. I think, look, bloods for the blood gods, skulls for the skull thrones. We'll send you thoughts and prayers in chaos form. What best we can manage.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Exactly. You can go to battle knowing that you have the spikier knights.
You can play a really cool prank on your friend. Although, oh no, they're your models. they're your models. Never mind. Don't do that.
Because when you play Smash Hammer against like a Bloodletter, it's like, oh ha, that was a joke. It was like $2. When it's a knight, that's not $2.
Yeah. I have dropped a knight several times though.
Oh my god.
But I painted it with lacquer paint, and so it didn't chip at all.
Oh, there you go.
It just fell into a bunch of pieces, but it's okay. I've glued it back together. So.
Perfect. Oh my god. When we moved my buddy Jeff to his apartment from one apartment to another, he has a bunch of knights, and he has one knight in particular, which is a very fancy one that Izzy painted in a converted and painted in the style of the knight from Dawn of War 3, Solaria. And so it's like beautiful like handwork of like scales on the shoulder and like all this crazy stuff. And we're moving him into this new apartment, which is on an upper floor, so we take the elevator and we're transporting these models as you do when you're moving a short distance on trays.
Right.
I had the Warlord like on my lap as we were driving over. He had a tray of knights, and we discovered what was an ongoing problem with this elevator. We would discover in the years to come that it was kind of carnivorous, and it would actually close a little too early.
Oh.
And so he changed like stepping through the door into the elevator, and the elevator just decides, yep, you're done, and it closes on the tray, cracks the tray, and Solaria falls and shatters into a million pieces. And of course, there's like the about inch gap down the elevator shaft.
No.
And we got lucky. Nothing fell down. But the moment that happened, and like, I was super impressed by one, Shane's calm, because he just like froze and didn't panic and drop the rest of the knights. And Jeff's just face, although it turned completely pale, kept its composure. It was just horrifying, like a nerd's nightmare, you know?
That's so sad.
Craziness. So yeah.
Were you able to get it fixed up?
It ended up fine. Yeah, we had to do a bit of super glue magic, but it was all good. And I don't think Izzy knows unless he's watching right now, so we're good. Yeah. Pat lost a whole shelf of D&D minis on a bookshelf that got bumped. An epic fail indeed. Oh man. I had Mel take out a whole shelf with her head once. It was like my display shelf with all my big demons on it too, and she just like, and everything just slid off. And it's like tough because you're obviously concerned for this person that you care about, but you're also concerned about your very expensive models that are just falling all over. And it's a tough moment for everyone involved.
Yeah, we talk about it now, but it is kind of really sad. But I was painting a dragon bust. It was a really small one.
Yeah.
But it was resin, and I ended up bumping the shelf that it was on, and it tipped over, and I was like, okay, it's fine.
God.
And then I don't know exactly what happened, but I was getting something else off the shelf, and then it just like rolled off, and it just slammed on the ground, and it shattered one of the like the spines on its back.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like I was being kicked while I was down because my dog had died like maybe like the day before, and so it just it was sad. I still haven't touched it. I still haven't painted it or anything. But I was feeling really good about it, and then
it's worse too because you're just like, oh, it's good, it's fine.
Yeah. And instead of like doing the smart thing and taking it off the shelf, the moment I saw that it wasn't stable, I was like, oh, it's fine. It's like,
yeah. And now you have to live with that regret.
Yeah.
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
But
you're like, I can talk about it now.
I could talk about it now. When it happened, I could not. Yeah, this was a few years ago.
Oh my God. That's a core memory.
Yeah. But I mean, it's fun. I don't really think I plan on going back and painting it anyway. It was an experiment in working with metallic pigments.
Metallic pigments?
Yeah, and trying to like blend those together and stuff
really cool.
to get some really cool like effects. That's actually how I painted the gun barrels on this. Was
interesting.
I put a layer of some gunmetal, whatever, acrylic paint, and then I put some different metallic pigments on it. Washed it down with just a watered down like black, and then put some more pigments on top of it, and just kept going back and forth because I wanted a really dirty look to it.
It gives you that extra control.
Kind of, sort of. It does get everywhere, which kind of sucks. But as long as you don't like wet it, you can kind of just like flake it off. It's fine.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I like how nicely it blends with other stuff. So it was good, and I like the texture that it gives as well too. So that was really my main thing. I guess that is one thing I did off stream on this. Was paint the gun barrels.
Truth comes out. The truth comes out. Boom. Oh, God. Fine. We'll do the Herald. Tired of airbrushing black on these guys.
Yeah.
See? Already bored. It's going to be worth it because the squad is like almost done. It's almost 80% done. See?
Which is 100%.
This is all they're ever going to get. No, I'll try to do the horns. I'll try. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. We did it. Oh, man. Look, 30 blood letters one evening. Pretty good. All right, let's see. We have a super chat from Alex. Thank you, Alex. Hey, Titans, can I please get some tips for painting NL, which I think Night Lords, in 40K with contrast using a Retributor undercoat? Retributor. I'm going to have to look that up.
Retributor gold.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Night Lords are, the blue. That would be really interesting. Wow.
What are Night Lords?
So they're the ones that's acted for Horus Heresy. So they're blue. And we used Andrew's method and did them in the sort of blue metallic, dark blue metallic.
Oh, that was like the big jumble of things that were on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's like that, which is why when you say Retributor armor, Custodes gold.
Yeah.
That's fast. I would have never thought to use gold. I would have thought, normally you do silver underneath.
But blue and gold is really good together.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Any tips? I've learned something from you, Alex. I've never even considered doing that. One thing I would say, and that's something that we learned as we were going through it, is doing things like matte or gloss varnishes and stuff like that has a really big effect on it, honestly. So, for example, the Night Lords, we followed through on Andrew's recipe where we did one additional layer after we got them to be this sort of metallic silver, right? We did like the silver and then the blue ghost tints and all that stuff. And we could have stopped there, but then there was one more layer that we did that really brought the whole thing down to like a different style of theme. It wasn't like this kind of candied, not like candy red, but this candy kind of metallic. And with the Alpha Legion, basically it's the same exact process, but we didn't do that final step. So you can see the difference between those two. So consider how many layers of this contrast you end up wanting to do, because that'll have a big effect. So these are some of the new contrasts, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Get rid of that sediment.
So, since they're gold, I'm tempted to go like darker.
I think darker is the way. And the Night Lords are pretty dark.
Yeah. So there is the Celestium blue.
Yeah.
But I'm also tempted to do like a sort of like a fade a little bit.
Yeah.
So like darker on like the boots, whatever, then you go up,
That would
right?
be cool.
Which is why I pulled out 3 different ones. Now that you're shaking that one up though, it looks very teal. So I'm not
I think
entirely.
it's supposed to be very teal, yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, that's too much, I think.
But there is the Celestium blue, which I like a lot. It's very purpley, which I think will make it go really, really, really well with the gold. Because one of my favorite things is having, like, whenever I paint gold, I do an undercoat of purple in like the shadows and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I use a lot of purple to bring out like the shadows of gold and stuff. So like a very purpley blue, which is what this is.
Yeah.
But in contrast, so were you looking for just like an all over, like, okay, I'm just gonna slap Celestium blue on and then that's it, or like?
They don't say. Oh, I do see you're in chat, Alex. If you can let us know. Yeah, just get some tips for painting Night Lords in 40K with contrast using Retributor undercoat.
Yeah.
How would you are you worried about consistency or anything across the smooth surfaces? Use a big enough brush, I think, with contrast. It's extra important. Kind of like with any wash, right? You need to make sure that you
get a smooth.
Yeah, you break that surface tension and drag them along.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
But I think I agree, this is the one to go for.
I think my I guess tip would be to get Celestium blue and go for that.
Yeah.
I think it would look really, really, really good with the gold. But I'm wondering, is gold typically
For
like
Night Lords?
Yeah.
Not really, they're more of a silver kind of people. Which is why I'm fascinated by this concept of using the gold as the undercoat, even just for the blue, you know?
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, let me shake it up.
Yeah, totally. I like this one, actually. I haven't tried it yet.
I did crack the seal on this one, so neither one of us know. Gold undercoat, leaving the Retributor.
So it does one on the trim. Cool.
Yeah. Then
so you're on the same
Celestium.
Yeah.
Celestium, I think, would be really good. Just based off of how dark it is.
It's such a Night Lords
and it
color.
is a true blue
Yeah.
color. So
I love it.
yeah.
Alex, when you do this, you should post up on Discord and tag us, because I would love to see the results. I'm really, really interested in this.
But yeah, my number one suggestion though would be to like try and get it to be lighter on the top than it is on the bottom. I think it looks really good. Very dark.
That'd be cool.
So.
And you can do some of that stuff with contrast. You know, they're basically just very thin paints.
Yeah.
So you can even do some of that kind of blending.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I love it. Well, that's the super chat. I'm at a pretty good stopping point. Are you good? Excellent. Let me glam it up. You guys can see the beautiful work. Now, they're still not transformed. They're not going to get their final transformation until I wash them in Nuln Oil, and the swords I wash in... I actually usually do Agrax for these. So it kind of tones down the brightness of these blades a bit, makes it a bit earthier and dirtier, but still keeps those warm tones. Maybe I'll do Seraphim Sepia. We'll see how I'm feeling when I get to that. But, you know, just a lot of work. Here we are. 30 bloodletters. So now the studio has 60 pretty much ready to go. Get another 20 or 30 ready. And I think we're ready for Codex Daemons. It's going to be awesome.
When does that come out? Next week?
No, they haven't even announced anything.
Oh.
So could be next week, could be 3 months. Well, honestly, at this point, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be ready for before it's time. I need to do Demonettes too, to be honest. So I don't know. I might be on next week doing Demonettes, to be honest. So you guys get the theme. Do you want to throw your tank up here, or?
Sure.
Yeah. I know it's like subtle changes.
It is, yeah.
Today, especially.
Yeah.
Because we decided not to go with the wizarding. Just, I don't know. I think it's really coming out. There it is. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. So I did do a little bit of it off stream. Last time I put it on stream, all I did was the red underglow and then fix up the fiends a little bit. But what I did off stream was I broke up the red a little bit by putting in some orange and some yellow on the underglow. I sprayed in the glow around the fiends. And then I painted the treads the same like gunmetal color that the gun barrel is, but the gun barrel I put a brass metallic pigment on the very like top part of it.
Right.
So I might do that with the treads, but we'll see.
It's really coming out.
I'm just slowly picking out things that I kind of want to do to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming along.
It really is. I know you're kind of uncertain today, but like it's really, really looking good. Honestly, it's looking amazing.
Thank you. There was also a point where I lost this guy, this top,
right.
the top one. It got caught on my jacket or something, but it just fell onto the floor of my car. So I was freaking out for a little bit.
It's like the spine all over again.
But I found it. So
That's really funny. No, it's definitely coming out. I realize now. I was like, there's something off. It doesn't have the rule of three.
The top one. Yeah. He is not glued in yet because I'm not entirely sure if I'm done with the Space Marine inside of it.
Right.
So we'll see. I might put like a skull on his shoulder.
Oh, that'd be cool, actually.
Yeah.
The glow is just amazing. It's like this subtle atmospheric glow, which is really nice. Well, this has been a lovely evening, painting, chatting, hanging out. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us. As always, we like to talk about what's coming up soon on the Titans family, Titans Network. I don't know, a name for it. So tomorrow on Tabletop Titans, what's happening is John and I are playing, of course, and he is playing Imperial Knights. I'm playing Adeptus Mechanicus. We haven't played either of these since the new Nephilim changes. There's just so many armies in the game right now. And so I'll be bringing in some chickens, because those have Khorne now, which is super exciting. He's going to be bringing a pretty nasty knight list. And again, now that I know what the knight secondaries are, I'm a little bit nervous. It's going to be a ton of fun. And also, keep your eyes and ears out on Friday for a special video about the newest member to the Titans. It's going to be coming out then. It's going to be awesome. And Saturday, of course, John and I are back at it. This is going to be Dark Angels versus Tyranids. That's right. I'm playing Dark Angels. They're back, baby. Playing against Tyranids since the nerfs. It's going to be a ton of fun. So do check that out. Look, a lot of stuff coming up. You're not going to want to miss next week on Hobby Titans. Exciting stuff. And if you guys haven't, do consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help us grow. Honestly, you guys just make it all worthwhile. You're sharing your painting jobs with the community. Your super chats.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Well, I think that's going to do it for us, yeah? Awesome. As we like to say here, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and always be creating. Bye! Oh man, I always mess this up. Bye!